This is A+ material is what I say.
And I say, you gotta raise that bar so you can have something to reach for.
And I say, welcome to Funbearable. I am Brad Rohr.
I'm Ray. Give him a chance, Harrington.
And I'm Ray. Let us riff. Staten.
Ray Staten?
Ray Staten.
Did I say Ray?
Yeah. Oh my
God.
A+ material right here.
I thought we were all changing our first name to Ray this week.
What a psychological twist that was.
Every week we're all going to be Ray. Next week we'll all be Brad.
I feel like that, like in that moment, that's when you would pause the TV and you would see the VCR squiggles lines across the screen, and then it would pivot to you talking to your therapist and going, "Now, see, I want to get to the root of whatever that was.
Yes.
What was that happened? Right? Why did I say Ray? Why was Ray in my mouth?"
The doctor is flipping through a book on Freud. Like, I have no idea.
With the DCMV.
Did I
and
say
he's
Ray?
like,
Ray Staten is what I said?
Yes, you did.
Ray, let us riff Staten.
Oh, Ray riff rhymes. No, it's not.
Ray riff rhymes.
There's alliteration there.
There is
Yeah.
alliteration.
Not
That's
a rhyme.
good.
Not a rhyme.
Yeah,
Not a
it's
rhyme.
true.
That's fun.
Huh.
Listen, I would like to bring something to the table that you guys don't
you.
know about.
Okay.
Let me foist a bit upon you.
Foist that foible.
So we just had our best ofs come out, right?
Fun Bammies.
2023, all the things we love. And someone reached out to me that wanted to share in that. And
Wow.
yeah, they wanted to share their favorite things of the year. And this person hasn't been on the podcast in a
Okay.
long, long time.
Okay.
But we're in the start of a new year.
I mean, I think back to like old episodes. Like, all right, well, Mark Norman.
Yeah, he's the first episode. That's the longest person that hasn't been on.
I mean, you know,
He sent me a list, but it just said comedy exclamation point on every single thing.
You know, one time I texted Mark, and I was like, "Hey, man, I'm like, you know, you just got married, you just bought a house for the first time, you're touring, like you're doing theaters. I'm like, hey, is everything cool? I just want to make sure there's a lot of stress on you, a lot of stuff." And he's like, "Yeah, I'm gay." You know, he did his thing.
Yeah.
And I go, No. I'm talking about like take off your comedy mask for a second and talk like a human. And he was like, "I can't."
Yeah.
He's like, "I can't do
I
it.
can't do it.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
so somebody reached out to you.
Yeah, and I think, you know, we're in a new year and a new era, and I think it's okay for this person, by their request, to come on and share this.
I agree.
Yeah.
I don't know how they're gonna
Manifest.
Yeah, so I think maybe just put on your theater of the mind hats, because
It's tough to put that hat on with my glasses on my forehead.
now the thing is, I don't know her last name.
Wow.
I know one thing mainly about her.
Oh, what's that?
She loves movies. Wow. She loves movies.
2024. This is how we're starting it.
2024, year of the movie slut.
Okay.
Sheila the movie slut reached out and she wanted
It
to.
has been a while.
It's been a minute.
Long time.
Yeah, it's been years
Yeah.
since Sheila was our first guest. No, second.
Yes.
Norman was our first.
Same day though. They came out on the same day.
That is true.
Right, tied for first.
Yeah. Sheila appeared for the first time and only time with George Lucas's first appearance on the
Is that true?
podcast. Yeah.
Are you going through and making little notes about all our firsts?
No.
Yes,
I just
you are.
remember. No, I remember that it's the
You
episode
gotta show me
we
this
talked
little
about
spreadsheet
indie.
you're working on.
It's the indie no episode.
yeah, right.
I had to listen back to remember what Sheila sounded like. That's why I know.
Send me the spreadsheet you're working on.
So I don't do spreadsheets. I spread sheets, but I don't do spreadsheets.
I'm the other way around.
Yeah, hospital
Yeah.
corners.
Yeah.
Brad, hospital corners roar. All right. I really don't know how we do this right now. Of just like, oh, now Sheila's here.
Let's see.
So-
How do you think?
Fun Bears, put on your theater of the mind hats, earmuffs, and glasses, and we present Sheila the movie sluts, Sheila the movie slammies.
I should have done the voice like privately in my car before I came in, because now I gotta. All right.
To be fair, we haven't heard it. in forever. So
That's
like
true. We're
could
not
be
gonna remember.
accurate.
That is true.
Yeah.
That is true. Here she comes. I feel weird not having it organically happen. I feel like I'm a small boy putting on a play. And
Yeah,
Do
you
you
are.
want us to do a little riffing and then you
Yeah,
can-
we'll do.
No, it's fine.
All right.
Here she comes.
Okay.
Oh, she's singing? Oh, no.
maybe she just saw
Should
Wonka.
old acquaintance be forgot? Never
Happy-
brought to mind.
Happy New Year,
It's
Sheila.
Sheila, the
movie
movie
slut.
slut. That's why I said forgot. I was trying to create a rhyme, y'all.
You did great.
Thank y'all.
Welcome back. We've
Thank you all, one singular.
We've missed you.
Oh, I've missed so many things. Is what I've missed. I haven't been on the podcast in so long. Anyway, I wish I had an outfit on. I heard y'all was doing top everything.
Yeah, favorite things of the year.
everything.
Your best favorites and your favorite best.
My best, yeah.
And I love to do that. I write about that on my blog at the end of the year and at the beginning of the year.
That's
and I
how-
do a check-in 6 months in.
That's how it started.
Well, y'all did your fun bammers.
Yeah,
Yes.
fun bammies.
And so this here is Sheila the Movie Slut's tip of the top of the best of the Just Fine of 2023.
Oh wow.
And I just went through the categories that y'all did.
Okay, good.
Because y'all know one thing about me, and that is I love movies.
Yeah.
I am a movie slut.
That's
I
your
don't
that's your
care.
defining
I
characteristic.
feel like
Yeah.
if I remember correctly, you love movies that you think are okay.
That's it. Yeah, Just Fine. 4 to 6.
Yeah,
4
right,
to 6
right.
is my
nothing
favorite, yeah.
outstanding.
And y'all,
nothing terrible.
COVID was tough.
Yes.
They shut down the movie theater.
Yep.
I couldn't go. I mean, I tried to go, but I couldn't go. So what I would do is I brought my laptop to the movie theater. I would
Yeah.
sit in the parking lot and I would watch Netflix.
That's good. That's
Sheila, my sister would drive to the movie theater to buy popcorn to help support the movie theater during COVID.
Oh, that's
is that true?
That is absolutely
that's
true.
fascinating.
Yeah.
that is.
What,
It
to
is
what movie
insane.
theater?
Whatever was in Chino,
Interesting.
California.
Chino, California.
Yeah.
There's a Pants, California.
Yes.
Do they have a Trousers, Nebraska?
It's Khaki, Nebraska.
Khaki, Nebraska.
No. Well, maybe. I don't know.
Y'all are confusing the hell out of me.
Sorry.
But anyway, that's
let's-
why I'm such a fan of the podcast.
let's hear the tip
is
of
I
the
love
top of
things
the-
that are just okay.
Yeah.
So this is like my speed.
What do you think of Chuck's shirt?
Oh, that is
You don't like my
that's
shirt?
one of my favorite. Let me hold on. I got to put it in my list.
It was just something we could riff on.
Oh, come
Come on,
on.
Ray.
Gee.
Let me riff.
So okay, so y'all started with books, I think.
We did.
Yeah.
So here's my top books of the year.
Yes.
Sheila's top books of the year.
Right.
Best self-help book. It's got to go to Be the Manager You Want to Speak To. Retail Therapy for the Emotionally Broken.
Oh, that's killer.
That helped me so much. It
Good.
really
Oh,
did.
did you
Yeah.
come up with that? Drew Bray?
No, these are the books I read. Ray left some time ago. If you're questioning this already, we're going to have a problem with the rest of this list. Best erotic novel. I'm going to be honest. I read them.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
I'll read 'em.
No shame.
Only at night though, because during the day it just feels
Icky.
wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It feels like awful.
Yeah.
So, best erotic novel, The Courage to Be Free by Ron DeSantis.
Yeah. Very
That
erotic.
is sultry stuff
Yes.
right there. That's a book where you got to like read a couple pages, put it down.
How
Take
can,
a
how
break.
can you fall in love with a man who's 5'4"?
Well, you give him big old stilty boots. So he's 5'7".
Yes.
Best overall fiction,
All right.
My Dream Journal. I loved it. It was so good. I had twists and turns. I didn't know where it was going. It's
be
like
anything.
slightly erotic. It's like it's straightforward enough. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Scary at times. Best overall nonfiction was my diary,
Yep.
and so those are the books.
Okay.
I mostly did more writing than reading.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, that's great. You're a creator.
Yeah.
And then music. Y'all was talking about music quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you were in a band.
Yeah, yeah.
Or you are in a band.
I don't know.
It's complicated.
It is.
Do they have that listing on Bandcamp?
Yeah.
It's complicated.
yeah.
Music, favorite song.
Yes.
Ooh.
I'm getting right to the good stuff.
Thank you.
Oasis, Wonderwall. I just heard it for the first time this week. And I love it. Like, it's good. Does that count?
It's a really good song.
is so good.
I guess if it's the first time you heard it, then yeah, it would
I
qualify.
heard it for the first time this week, and I said, who is that?
I love discovering things that everyone else already knows about.
That's right. I was like, is that Mac DeMarco? But
Nope.
no, it was
It's the Gallagher
two
boys.
brothers,
Yeah.
the Gallaghers. And I was like, oh, are they the sons of like the Hammerman?
Yes.
And then never mind.
May he rest in peace.
Now, I'm going to get a little negative
That's all right.
Sorry to do that at the beginning of the year, but worst song
Okay.
of the year was Rob Zombie's Dragula. And it was mostly down to poor timing.
Okay.
Because someone was blasting it from their car at my Uncle Rob's funeral. And it just felt inappropriate. And then when they told us who did the song, it was like even worse.
Oh, like a zombie at a funeral.
Rob
Yeah.
Zombie. It's like, well, my Uncle Rob is dead. I don't want to think about that.
Yeah.
And they're singing about dragging through ditches
Yeah.
and
through
burning witches
yeah.
and stuff. And that's like, that's not for us. And that was my aunt Kathy that was blasting the song.
Oh, wow.
The widow. The widow Kathy.
Was it
I
their
mean,
song?
It might have been their
Yeah, I
song.
was going to say, people
Yeah.
grieve in different ways.
Oh, that's
so,
right.
Yeah.
They did dance at their wedding to Power Man 5000. Because truly, a wedding is like when two worlds collide.
Yeah.
Speaking of weddings, the best song I heard at a wedding this year.
Okay.
Because we're finally back. We can go to have weddings.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
I got COVID at a couple weddings, but you can still go to them.
Yep.
Best song I heard at a wedding this year, and it is a song from this year. Jason Aldean's "Try That in a Small Town." It was beautiful. So uplifting. You don't know the song?
I do.
You look
I heard about
confused.
it. I feel like I don't know if that song is beloved or hated or what
Was it like the
The
original?
wrong people love it. Does that make sense?
What is it? What is it about? It's like don't have an interracial wedding at a small town.
No, it's basically if you're black and you come into my small town, we'll fucking kill you. It's
That's what he says in the song.
I mean, he doesn't say it outright. He uses like hinting kind of language.
I gotta hear this song.
Analogies and
Because
stuff.
there's things that happen in my small town.
What did you do?
Like me and Brad will play games, video games. Is it
Yeah.
about that?
Can we try that?
No,
in a
that's
sm-
not about that.
Was it the original version or was it like 4-string quartet?
Yeah.
Oh no, they just blasted it. They just blasted it. It was when they danced, the groom dances with his mother.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
I don't know what it was about, but anyway. Worst song to make out to
Okay.
this year. I tried, but
Yeah.
it just killed the vibe. Rich Men North of Richmond. By that guy that was like in the woods.
I thought it was.
And it was on
I
social
thought that was
media?
an ironic song. Is that not the case?
No, it's
Oh,
like
that-
direct, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and then like right wing people loved it and loved him.
Yeah.
And then left people were like, this is shit. But then later he had political views that didn't line up with the right wing
And
people.
then they were
and they
against-
got so confused.
Yeah.
And then they were like, well, let's just listen to Jason Aldean.
Yeah.
Biggest absolute banger at the club.
Okay.
I go.
A lot
I
of
go
clubs.
clubbing.
Yeah.
Mother by Meghan Trainor. I love the song.
I'm not familiar with
Yeah, I
it.
don't know what it is.
Oh, okay. Well, the joke died. The joke just died. right on
I'm
the-
so sorry. My lack of pop
The
culture.
whole song, Meghan Trainor?
Yeah.
I know Megan
All
Trainor.
about that
She's from
bass.
Cape Cod.
Yeah, she's like a store brand of a salad dressing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's like legitimate pop banger people.
Right.
And then Meghan Trainor's there and she's like, I do kind of this stuff too.
Okay.
And Mother is just like, you call me Mother. And it's just weird. It's like, don't think too much about the song.
Okay.
And it's sort of co-opting gay culture in a way.
Is
I
it
don't
like
know.
Bitch by Meredith Brooks?
No, that's Bitch by Meredith Brooks.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Not a lot of people know that Garth Brooks' god niece is Meredith Brooks.
No
wow.
idea.
Yeah. And Brooke Shields has nothing to do with it.
I can hear it.
Let's move to what I love.
Okay.
Movies.
Yeah.
Okay. I
Yeah.
hope y'all are enjoying this because it's fun for me, sort of, but also incredibly embarrassing.
No, Sheila, don't be embarrassed.
Yeah. We all have likes and dislikes.
There's a part of me that, let's call it Ray.
Okay. I've got
Who
a,
is mortified by
I've
this
got a
whole
Ray
thing.
in my head.
I got a Ray in my head,
Tell-
too.
yeah,
You're just going to
sometimes-
fucking slap him down.
Oh, well, he seemed to be coming out at the beginning of the podcast. It was weird.
I know, you can't let him out.
But this is what everybody came for. All right, we're going to hit all the SEO, search
Yep.
engine optimization. So let's hit some movie reviews.
Please.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they're not reviews; they're just what I like and
Yep.
stuff like that.
That's okay.
I'm not like a movie. Roger Ebert.
Yeah,
Yes.
may he rest in peace.
Yeah, R.I.P.
Yep.
Excuse me. I watched a documentary about him. Do you know he was just like, I thought he like made movies or had something to do with movies. He just watched them and told people what they thought.
He
And
made
was
Valley of the
famous.
Dolls.
Yeah, I thought he wrote Valley of the Dolls.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's
But
a
other-
widely disliked, disgusting, hated movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, so why was everybody like, let's hear him out for
that's the question.
decades?
That's the question.
Because he had a platform.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
I'm a Gene Shalit man myself.
Yeah,
Movies, best romantic comedy of 2023, Expendables.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was beautiful. It's a will they, won't they. The meet cute is wonderful.
Did
I
they?
love it. Oh, they did.
Oh,
Yeah.
I got to see it,
It
but not during the day.
No, just see that at night. Expendables. Better than Expendables. And I can't wait for Expendable 5. the S is
Yep.
5. Best drama,
Okay.
The Flash.
Okay.
I thought it was so dramatic.
Yeah.
You know, there was a moment where they CGI'd a tear coming down his eye because his mom was going to die. And he's like, I got to put this can of tomatoes back.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sad.
Did were you caught up in all the surrounding drama about the actor who played the Flash, or
Michael Keaton?
oh boy,
What did he do? What did Keaton do?
No, Keaton's great. Keaton.
Well, because I know he had to stop doing House of Cards
yeah, yeah.
because of what happened.
No,
Yep.
that was Kevin Spacey.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's a different
Oh.
people.
Well, then who was K-Pax?
Okay, that was Kevin Spacey as
Okay.
well. Yeah.
Then who's Kate Hudson?
Okay, that she was in Fool's Gold.
Okay.
And she's
and
the
then
daughter
who
of
landed
Goldie
the
Hawn.
plane on the Hudson River?
Sully.
Oh,
Sully Sullenberg.
Yeah.
from Monsters, Inc.
Yes.
Yeah, Harrison
Now
Ford.
you're on board.
We just did like a warm-up.
Yes, we did.
Best action movie. Pew, pew. So I don't know who edits this, but if you could put in guns just going off, that would be fun. I was
do it,
going to
Craig.
bring kept guns, but I couldn't get them on the plane.
I understand.
Do you know that they won't let you take a kept gun on the plane?
That
Yeah.
seems unlikely, like unfair, because it's not
That's
a real
right.
gun. You can't hurt anyone with it.
I've hurt people with one, but yeah, you can't
Oh, okay.
usually.
Yeah, but you could start a fire.
Yeah.
Oh, all
That's
right.
true.
Good point. Good point.
Best action: Ant-Man and the Wasp. Quantamnia.
Yeah.
I don't know how to pronounce it.
That's all right.
Ant-Man and the Wasp. Quantamnia.
I think the people who wrote it were also having trouble understanding the concept. So
No, y'all, this is a must-see. I would say that Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantamnia is a must-see. I don't watch Marvel movies.
Okay.
And I was confused.
yes.
But that made me think.
Yeah.
I'll say this: I do watch Marvel movies, and I was confused.
So the intent of the filmmaker just comes through no matter what.
Yeah.
Yes.
All walks of life can see this movie and go, what the fuck is happening?
yes.
Why that man got such a big face?
Yep.
Yeah.
And he's not fun.
No.
Favorite movie snack?
Ooh. Okay.
It's popcorn again.
Oh.
It's always
Boy,
popcorn.
a lot of years running for.
Oh my God.
popcorn.
Since I started the list.
Yep.
Favorite movie that's a snack.
Oh, okay.
It's a tie.
Oh.
It's the Flamin' Hot Cheetos movie and Magic Mike: The Final Dance.
Oh. Yep.
Those are my top movies that are snacks.
That was a
Best
cute one.
movie of the year.
Okay.
Okay.
So Sheila Oscar goes to.
Yep.
The Academy Sheila goes to Sound of Freedom. It's got to be Sound of Freedom. I loved that movie. I thought it was hilarious.
Oh no! I don't think that was a
Moving on to
comedy.
TV shows. Let's go. Oh, by the way, I should have put that in the list. My favorite phrase of the year. Let's go.
That's a
I
good
love
phrase.
how every fucking guy in this whole goddamn area just says "Let's go"
Oh,
with
yeah.
a completely dead look on their face. There's nothing behind the eyes. They just go, "Let's go."
And they say it about anything.
Absolutely anything. Oh, there's pepperoni on this pizza. Let's
Let's
go.
go.
Oh, I won $5 million on the lottery. Let's go.
Hey, I reconnected with my birth parent. Let's
Let's
go.
go.
Yeah.
It's so fun how they say it for every goddamn thing in the world. TV shows. I only have 2 because I'm not a big TV person.
That's all right.
Best TV show of the year goes to literally any reality show on television. I love it. I love a reality. I love that so much. What's y'all's favorite reality show?
It's coming out this coming year.
Actually, yes. We shot a sizzle reel for an upcoming reality show that's going to be on Discovery.
Now, what is that? Is that for a cooking show?
It's called
Sizzle?
It's called Big Little Brawlers.
Big Little Brawlers.
It's about little people wrestling.
Little people wrestling.
Yeah.
It's on Discovery
Is it
Channel.
regular sized people wrestling little people?
I think there might be a couple. No, no, just little.
There's a couple
There's a whole couple.
and they're fighting.
Yeah, I think so.
So
Yeah.
is it like
There's drama. There's
do they own a
pathos.
farm? Because that's little people, big world.
Also, I will say, I do like that one, but also Daisy of Love.
What's Daisy of Love?
Remember Daisy from Rock of Love?
What's Rock of Love?
Remember
Brett Michaels.
Brett Michaels from Poison.
The
poison.
murder device.
Device.
Why'd your mind go to murder?
Poison.
Okay.
Daisy was on Rock of Love.
Okay.
But she didn't get picked, I don't think.
Oh, no.
She was on the top 2.
Yep.
Okay.
And then they said, Daisy, you're so fun. Everyone loves you. They're going to give you your own show, Daisy of Love. And then Daisy had to pick guys for her to be in love with, just like Mike Michaels.
They were all wrestlers.
They might have been.
Were there little ones?
Yeah.
Little wrestlers?
There's a tiny one.
Can I?
Do they do a little dating show like that?
Ooh.
Lil Bachelor.
Ooh, little batch.
I'm in.
Oh,
Little
don't
Batch.
know. That sounds bad.
LIL apostrophe
Yep.
BACH apostrophe. And then little
No,
Bach.
because then it sounds like
do the
Lil
intro.
Bach. Yeah.
I was gonna say
His
little-
music's beautiful, but it's not. There's not a lot of notes because the piano keys are too far away. So
They're all super high.
yeah, I'm gonna get away from these jokes
Good
because I don't feel
choice.
comfortable
Good
here.
choice.
Good.
But if anybody gets canceled, please let it be Sheila and nobody else.
Yeah.
All views are Sheila's and Sheila's only.
Yeah.
Worst TV show of the year.
Okay.
And I mean it. The News. Yuck.
Yeah. You're not alone in feeling that way.
And
Sheila.
you're gonna love this, Chuck, because I do a food section, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because you do restaurants,
I love restaurants.
and I'm a fan.
Yeah.
I am a fan. So
Uh-huh.
I've got food here. Best coffee goes to the Sunoco gas station by my house.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's the best coffee I have
All right.
all year. Best sandwich. It's got to go to the Sunoco gas station by my house.
Uh-huh. Yeah. I love gas station sandwiches.
And that's why we connect.
Yep.
Best pizza,
Mm-hmm.
close call here, but I have to give it to the Sunoco gas station by my house.
Nice. You know who loves gas station pizza is comedian Frank Gazzaro.
Oh, comedian's so generous of you. That's Sheila's views only, y'all. Best 260-ounce bottle of ketchup goes to
Ooh.
Costco.
Yeah,
It's gotta be
that
Costco.
was my choice.
If you get it somewhere else, it's not the same.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Of
You know,
course.
like you like you're at a restaurant and you have fries or something, and they bring ketchup, and it's like that Hunt's or like Kitchen's Best or something.
Yeah.
And it's like, what happened to your restaurant?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Are not enough people coming here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That you can't afford real condiments?
Right.
You got to give the idea of ketchup.
Yeah.
This is what ketchup would be.
Yeah, it's a ketchup concept.
Best moons over Miami.
Oh, boy.
Let me think.
A lot of
yeah.
choices here.
Yeah.
It could be so many things.
Yeah. I don't
don't
know.
know.
What'd you
Might
have?
go to-
Denny's.
Oh.
I have to give it to
yeah,
Denny's.
yeah, that makes
Sometimes I get Denny's because I go see like a late movie.
Yeah.
And then the only place I can go is Denny's.
Yep.
And guess what I get? Moons
over
over
Miami.
Miami.
Yeah.
That's right. And then a final restaurant thing. Worst bathroom. I got to give it to the Sunoco gas station by my house. It's tough. It's a yin and yang situation.
Yeah.
They've got the best stuff. I skipped one. Best can of Diet Sprite. Sunoco by my house.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. Yeah.
So it's real tough. I go in, I get my slice of pizza, I get my can of Diet Sprite, but then, rumbles and the tumbles.
Yeah.
I got to go. You don't want to do it there. You're better off behind the Sunoco, honestly.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just go in a ditch.
Yep.
Oof. Personal stuff.
Okay. Good.
This is it. We're down to the personal
Yeah.
stuff. And I just want to share this because, I have a blog, SheilaTheMovieSlut.com. And you can go there and you can see the blog that I write. I do movie reviews. I do personal stuff, all that stuff. So these are my personal bests, worsts, and all arounds.
Yep.
Most frustrating thing that happened in 2023 to me. I started taking Ozempic to lose some weight, but it didn't do a damn thing.
Oh.
And it tasted awful.
I'm sorry to hear that.
It tasted terrible.
Wow. Is it
Yeah.
a pill?
No, it's like a needle,
Oh.
but it tasted awful.
Okay.
And then I was told you have to you take it like almost like an insulin shot.
Oh.
Yeah.
But I was just sucking on that. Like
were just doing a
hamster.
squirt?
I was just like that, like a
that's fun.
hamster, and
That
it
sounds
tasted
fun.
terrible. And my mouth went numb, but my tongue is thinner than it's ever been in my life. Biggest surprise
Ooh,
of
good.
2023. Let's flip it, turn it positive. Biggest surprise. I was getting like 1,000 you up texts all year round, late at night. You up, you up, you up. There's 1,000 of
I
those
suspect I
texts.
know what number those came
Well,
from.
it was starting to scare me. It really was
Yeah.
starting to scare me. I thought I was going to have to call the police or
Right.
get a new number. But then when y'all reached out for me to be on the podcast right now, I found out it was Chuck's phone
Yeah.
number. So
Yeah.
I'm more relieved than anything else.
Yes.
That was good because it was starting to get aggressive.
I'm
It
just
really
checking.
was. Biggest hassle.
Just want to make sure you're getting enough sleep.
Yeah.
Biggest hassle of the year.
What's
Yep.
that?
Is when I had to sue that caricature artist for slander. Yep. It was a real problem for me, and they dragged it out in the courts.
Oh, yeah, the
Yep.
court system
But
is
as soon
tough.
as they showed the picture, I won.
Nice.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
And all I got was my money back. 6 months. 6 months in court.
Yeah.
And I got $15 back. And I was like, what about my time?
Yeah, you know what? Sometimes, though, it's a principle thing.
That's what I was saying. But they also informed me that there was no principal on it because there was no interest done.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Right.
Not even accounting for inflation, which
Yeah.
hit hard.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Biggest scare.
Uh-oh.
Biggest scare. There's only 2 left, and then I'm going to leave.
Is it getting texts from Chuck?
No. Oh, there's 3 left. Sorry.
Okay.
That's a scare in and of itself. Biggest scare. When I was declared legally dead for over 4 minutes in July when I fell asleep in my car in the Target parking lot with the windows up.
Wow.
It was so scary. And can I tell you why?
Why?
Y'all, I saw beyond the veil.
Uh-oh.
There's nothing.
Oh, no.
There's nothing.
Oh no.
That is terrifying to like wrestle with and accept within yourself.
Yeah.
I remember there was just absolutely nothing. Then there was like a big, that big face that screams.
Yes.
It was there.
Okay.
Yeah, I
The
hear
big
that.
face, but that could have been the paramedic.
Yeah.
That was
Right,
giving me the
right.
breath of life.
Right.
So I don't know. But either way, no thanks. 1 star. Ugh.
I see a face like from The Exorcist. Remember that guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's very similar.
similar,
to that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But I would not do it again.
No.
I don't recommend it. And now we're on the resolutions.
Oh, good.
I like to do a resolution every year.
Yeah.
And this year, let's see, last year, I failed my resolution. My resolution last year was to get COVID from a celebrity.
Oh.
That's really what I wanted.
Yeah.
I wanted it in my heart. I wanted to
Yeah.
be able to walk around and be like, I have Taylor Swift COVID.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes. Of
I
course.
would have settled for like, I have
Meghan Trainor COVID.
Megan Trainor
Yeah.
COVID. Because
Yeah.
at least some people would know who they are.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But imagine saying like, oh, I have like Harrison Ford COVID.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
That's
Yeah.
true.
I feel like other people would want
Now
it.
you're getting free drinks.
I think this is a good idea for a business. Like you could sell this. You know what I
Oh.
mean? When a celebrity gets COVID and they're like, sorry, y'all, I have to cancel the tour. You know what I'm saying? Because I have COVID. Charge. People will come and like rub on you and
Yeah,
stuff.
get
Just
coffee.
a different event.
Yeah, just get a full on
Just a,
peck on
Yeah,
the lip.
just
yeah,
a big
yeah.
super spreader event.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you just sneeze in their face and they
Yeah.
pay. It's like when people pay at a Comic-Con.
Yeah.
Only you get to go home and say, I have,
Robert Englund's COVID.
I have Freddy Krueger COVID.
Yeah.
Krueger
I got
COVID.
Kruvid.
Yeah.
I got Freddy Kruvid. And then finally, so for this year, this is my resolution, y'all, and I'm saying it on the air so I can stick to it. Y'all can hold me accountable for it.
No problem, Sheila.
This year, I have 2, but it's either find the person who murdered both of my birth parents or cut down on those carbs. And both are going to be so hard.
Yeah.
Really difficult.
Let's
really,
go.
really hard.
Man, let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Speaking of, I need to.
Oh,
Yeah.
Sheila, thank you for coming by. We really
Not a
appreciate
problem
it.
at all. Let me just get in my little tiny vehicle and drive away. Beep, beep, y'all. Bye-bye.
Wow, it was so nice of Sheila to
You know,
stop
it was really
by.
nice to see her after so long. She
wi-
looks good.
Just wish Ray could have seen her.
Did she
Her
lose
tongue is very thin.
Did she lose weight?
Yeah, well, in the tongue.
In the tongue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ray's back.
Yeah. Hey,
Hey,
guys.
Sheila.
What's
I'm
up?
here.
How you doing?
I'm all right.
You missed it.
There is a challenge when it's not an audio only podcast.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. I'm used to having a fun play, but this was weird for me. I wanted to do it though. You know what I mean?
Oh, I think you
it
can
felt
do it.
so right.
I think you can do it. We're having fun.
Yeah,
I
it
think
felt
about,
right.
I think about. Basically, here's how I think about the podcast. Okay,
Uh-oh.
we're doing an audio podcast.
Here's how I think about the podcast. It's one handsome, cool guy and 2 schmucks.
we're doing an audio podcast.
Two and a
then-
half
Then some people get to hang out in the studio.
Yeah,
That's
sure.
that's a good way to think
Yeah,
about it.
yeah,
'Cause then you can do all your audio jokes.
Yeah.
I mean,
But-
no one listens to the podcast thinking it's a different person.
No, I know. It's just weird because
sorry,
we
what do you
don't
mean?
have this isn't Comedy Bang Bang where it's
Yeah.
an understood thing.
Yes.
That there's going to be like 2 real people and then a bunch of characters.
Yes,
So
yes.
it's hard to switch into that thing.
I get you.
But, we've talked, Sheila has come up so many times.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it is insane that even listeners will bring up Sheila, and it's like Sheila was on for like 40 seconds in the third episode.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wanted to bring her up, and
I love it.
Like there was a lot of fun
Sheila,
stuff there.
for me, Sheila has an open invite.
All right,
Whatever.
Yeah, Sheila's down, I think. I
Yeah.
don't know. She's got a busy year though. She's got to find the killer of her birth parents.
I know, that was a surprise.
Yeah. And that wasn't even her biggest surprise. No. She died earlier in the year.
Yeah.
She's got a lot of stuff going
She's
on.
an adventurer.
Yeah, she was in court. A lot of stuff.
Yeah, it's good
A lot
stuff.
going on with Sheila.
Yeah. A lot of fun.
There's a lot of stuff going on with us as well.
It's true.
This is a transition.
Yeah.
Star wipe.
Oh, that's another thing you could charge for.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Guess what this came from?
Please go front to back.
Cold.
Last year, Jennifer Lawrence got a yeast infection, so we're going to ask you please front to back.
Oh, that's good.
But is there a flash happening, or am I having a stroke?
I didn't see a flash.
You guys
Stroke.
didn't see like a quick flash of light?
No, but I closed my eyes right when you said that, so maybe I missed it. You see that? Craig, I'm not going to tell him to play it back in slow motion.
No,
He doesn't know how.
no.
But like, I really did, right? I blinked
Yeah.
and I was like, oh, it's a long blink. And then I heard you say that.
You had time to think it's a long blink? That's just closing your eyes.
Well, you think faster than you speak.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
A little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on. Chuck, you have something happening.
Well, we were talking about haunted hotels, is what you said you
Oh,
wanted to do
that's right.
first.
You know what happened? I was so self-conscious because
Yes.
of doing the character.
Yeah.
I was like, somebody else do a thing.
Yeah, I know.
No, so yeah, New Year's, happened
Recently.
during this
Yes.
area of recording and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was in upstate New York.
Yes.
Had a really fun time. I worked the Cohoes Music Hall in
Co-host.
Cohoes, New York, which is like right next to Albany.
Okay.
The music hall, it might be like the oldest theater that I've performed in.
So you
Okay.
do this gig like every year, but different venues?
Yeah, so I work
okay.
for the same guy.
Yeah.
And it started with
Johnny New Year.
Johnny New Year. I work with Johnny New Year, JNYE.
Always a new sash every time you see him.
I know. When I see him at the beginning of the year too, he's so young.
Right. Keep
one
going.
could
The
say
idea of describing a
he's
person
baby.
as so young.
He's a baby in
Yeah,
a
yeah.
diaper. But by the end of the year,
Yeah.
old man.
Yeah, I know.
Elderly.
There's
no.
beard hairs in the email.
Yeah, it's weird. Ugh. And he says like words that aren't cool. You know what I mean?
I just saw a flash.
I just saw a flash. as
Okay,
well.
so I'm
Yeah.
not insane. Thank you.
What happened?
Well,
I don't know.
We're not ruling out your insanity.
Make it stop. I'm going to wake up in the car.
Yeah. With a big face.
Yeah, nothing happened.
It's the you're dead for 4 minutes. This is the afterlife, Ray.
Oh, no.
yeah.
Definitely purgatory, for sure. Purgatory is a podcast, right?
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, purgatory is a podcast.
We're talking about what heaven could be like and what hell might be like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so much of purgatory is the phrase content.
Yes.
Right? Just the word content.
Yeah.
But
Is,
anyway.
is south of purgatory a phrase? Is that
South of Purgatory. I think that is a phrase, isn't it?
It might be.
Or
It
something
sounds
of-
like a title.
I mean,
Yeah.
Slayer has an album called South of Heaven. I know that.
Okay.
But, on account of being a huge Slayer fan.
Yeah.
So your thing is like
Let's
the
see.
South of Purgatory.
Slayer, Buffy.
Right.
She's
Vampires.
a Slayer. She's
True.
a Slayer.
I'm a big fan.
Yeah. Drag queens. They're slayers. They slay.
They do slay.
They do slay.
I've only met a couple drag queens.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't been to a lot of drag
I
events.
feel like you'd be scared of a drag queen.
Yeah, probably.
I like them.
I don't think scared, intimidated. I think that's what
I can't deal with that much confidence.
Okay, that's fair.
That's why
Yeah.
I struggle with Chuck sometimes.
Chuck
Because he
is
actually
very much
believes
like
in himself.
a drag queen
Right, minus the
without
slaying.
without the drag or the queen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Drag guy. No drag is
No, the drag parts of
Chuck queen. No.
We'll figure
We'll
it
figure
out.
it out.
Yeah,
We'll get back to you. We'll get back to
We'll
you.
workshop.
But South, in my mind, this
Gotta check the Urban Dictionary.
this
what am I allowed to
podcast
say? What am I allowed to say?
this podcast is, if this is purgatory, but for Ray, it's kind of south of purgatory, where it's like a D plus if hell is an F and heaven's an A.
Yeah, I
You ever
like
see
that.
the-
You
you
ever
ever
see
see
the,
the
purgatory.
you ever see the prank that RuPaul played on Jimmy Fallon
No.
on the show when they were recording?
Yeah.
Jimmy said something like, he goes, so you have this show where all these drag queens, it was like, RuPaul's Drag Race or whatever.
Yeah.
He goes, well, all these drag queens, and RuPaul goes, oh, like, did you just say drag queen? And Jimmy Fallon was like, I thought, and he was like flipping, and she's like, I'm kidding, and he's like, oh my, that's such
Yeah,
a good
yeah.
prank
Yeah.
to play on like a late night host.
I like that on Jimmy Fallon. the
Yes.
most.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he seems like the type that would be so concerned with like, did I say the wrong thing?
Right.
Oh yeah. He's the
Yeah.
best person to do it. Too.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, if you did it to Kimmel, it's funny, but Fallon is the best.
Yeah.
Do you? Sorry, go ahead. I don't want to go into this thing.
Oh.
I was just gonna say, well, did you hear about Jimmy Kimmel this week?
Oh yes.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's gonna happen? Is this list gonna come out and are we gonna be surprised or no?
It's bullshit.
Is it all bullshit?
Yes.
Yeah, he responded to the whole
Oh
thing.
no, Jimmy Kimmel's the thing is bullshit.
Yeah.
But the actual list,
Oh, sure.
like it's actually gonna come out.
Right, but I have a feeling most of those names are going to be names no one recognizes
Exactly,
because
that's what I
they're people
think.
that
Yeah.
are wealthy behind
Like
the scenes.
billionaires?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
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 We're talking about Epstein's list.
Yeah.
But how?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't. We
That's a
don't-
best of I don't want to read.
I was just gonna ask, like Maxine Giselle, right? Or Gisane?
Ghislaine?
Ghislaine.
Ghislaine, yeah.
Ghislaine.
Just
I
keep
don't.
moving.
I don't
keep
think.
moving.
I don't think there's a pause between the syllables.
Jerry Ghislaine. She went to court. They got the list.
Yeah.
Now it's 7 years later, 8 years later, 9.
Several years later.
I thought it was 2015 that she went to court.
Let's say several.
And now the judge says we can put out the list, and now we're waiting for the list to come out.
I don't know.
Isn't that odd?
I don't know.
Yeah, I stopped following the story after Jeffrey's tragic suicide. That is definitely a suicide, and is
It is tragic, apparently. I'm going to take away tragic from that.
anytime a person takes their own life and isn't murdered in a cell, and nobody cares about the murder, and everybody just accepts it as a suicide, it's very sad.
So
I don't actually.
would
think
you
it's,
clarify? Would you clarify?
Yes.
So any suicide is tragic?
No.
Including one Adolf Hitler?
I think it's tragic.
didn't have time? He
Tragic?
could have turned things around.
No, that's not why.
What if
'Cause he
Scrooge
should
had killed himself?
It's the easy way out. He could have faced
exactly.
time in jail.
Yeah.
Because like that's the punishment part of it.
Sure. Yeah.
The suicide is nothing. It's a breeze. I don't know about that, but you know
I've
what I mean.
heard
It's not-
famously it is, it's painless, but it brings on many changes.
but,
So I did
poetic.
New Year's.
so, but the Epstein list is going to come
Stop
out.
talking about the Epstein list. That's
it.
not what this podcast
I don't
is.
understand what it
Go
is.
on fucking Joe Rogan so you could be like, yeah, Jimmy Kimmel's a pedophile. Did you hear? You know what I mean?
No, but like this list, I think it's so bizarre. I don't understand
yeah,
it.
it's weird. Don't bring it up if you don't even know what it
I'm
is.
trying to get some clarification from my buddies that are so expert.
We don't
so
know.
expertist.
Yeah, that's our other podcast. That's
Yeah.
our spin-off podcast
I
that we
thought
do.
you would be able. Sometimes you guys inform me of the news.
Yeah.
you tell me you fill me in.
I think we know most of the names. That's all.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be any huge revelations because there's been so much scrutiny about it and so much media attention that most of there's Ghislaine in the background at the Clinton wedding, and we know a lot of these
And
things.
I also think that, I'm not going to defend anybody that is on the list or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
It's also difficult to me because I think the salaciousness of this
Yes.
leads people to go, this list is a list of like confirmed pedophiles.
This is one of the questions I have.
Yeah.
I'm like, what does this list actually
It
mean?
just means they went on the plane.
Yeah.
And it's like, does that mean they did the stuff?
right.
I don't know. They went to the island. Is there inappropriate shit? Probably, but it's also not a smoking gun. Does that make
Right.
sense?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that because I'm on the list. I don't know. No, but it is hard for me, even if it's somebody
me
that I
too.
think is a piece of shit. And I want to be like, yeah, they went, and that means they're a pedophile.
That's what I'm
It's like,
saying.
I can't go that
What's
far.
the bridge?
Yeah.
What's the bridge between?
Unless the list has like those names, and then it's like you can line that up with like they also loved Subway sandwiches. You know what I mean? And they went hard at the Subway sandwich, and they gave a lot of money to the Catholic Church.
What
you
if-
have to
what if-
tick off
what if,
so many
what
boxes.
if they went on the plane, then after they came back, they donated a huge amount of money to Subway?
Yeah.
Then we can confirm.
Yeah. What about this for the list? What if it shows somebody going and then like immediately flying back, where they showed up and they went, oh no,
Yeah.
flew home. They
That's
were like,
a good
I'm
one.
out.
That's
Yeah.
a good one. That should be taken off the list.
Because I think in that kind of case, there are to make it like a movie moment, it would be like somebody getting famous enough. Like it's in like a bunch of like biopics of like musicians and stuff. They get famous enough and they go into a hotel room where there's all these money people
Yep.
Yeah.
and something fucked up is going on.
Yeah.
And they leave.
Like Money Plane.
I don't know that one.
Okay.
Oh, that like terrible red
Kelsey Grammer.
yeah,
Red Letter
yeah.
Media.
Yeah. Somebody should have left.
Could have fucked an alligator or a crocodile.
What is happening right now?
In Money Plane, it's basically this plane for billionaires.
Yeah.
And you can go on and you can do all these terrible things.
Oh,
And one of
okay,
them is fuck
yeah.
a crocodile.
Gotcha.
But so that's what you're talking about, basally. It's like a situation where
I don't
there's all
think I'm
these,
talking about
these,
fucking a
these rich
crocodile.
people doing fucked up things.
Yeah, where whoever is seeing it, immediately leaves or something like that. That's what I'm saying. It's like that list is just like people who went on a plane.
Yeah, I know.
And it's hard to say like, oh, that means they co-sign on all the stuff.
Of
Right.
course. That's
That's
all I wanted to know.
Okay.
That's how I feel.
We got there.
That's what I feel, but I didn't know if you would be like, oh, no. To go on the plane, you have to,
Yeah.
have sex with a crocodile.
Let's do another spin-off podcast of Funbearable.
Let's call it anything but this.
And no, it's like we have to translate like the news for like an even keel, right? Like come to us. We're not going to give you like we have this firm bias. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's
I think that's one of the reasons that I can't discuss things in public is because I'm so close to the middle of things all the time where I'm like the Epstein list, same thing. I'm like, does that really mean anything? Like, what are we talking about? How can we tell?
Yeah.
And it's so boring to bring that up.
Yeah.
But that's why I was checking.
So I know there's a left-wing version called the Young Turks. Ooh. So what if we become the Young Turds?
I was thinking young jerks, but yeah,
Young jerks. I like that. No, I don't want to be a jerk.
No.
And I also don't think we could say young legally.
average. Yes.
Anyway,
compared to Brad Young.
I love when we
But
sat
I'm Brad.
down. I love when we sat down and we were like, let's write out the topics that we're doing,
Yep. Yes.
right before we do the episode.
Yeah.
And I remember you were trying to add more, and I'm like, I think that's a whole episode. I think all the little things that happen in the middle, you're like, I don't know, write it down just in case, right? You know what's not on this fucking post-it? 15 minutes on Jeffrey Epstein.
So who killed this guy? It's funny because your reaction was
Yeah.
so big.
You know what? I'm going to be honest. Also, that whole thing,
Yep.
I wouldn't be surprised at all if he was murdered.
Yep.
Yes.
I also wouldn't be surprised at all if he killed himself.
Yep.
Oh, I would
Look
kill.
at where he was. He
got-
was about to have all this stuff. It was all crumbling down.
Yep.
He's in that cell. Best case scenario, death for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Tragic.
How about this? A guy comes in to kill him.
Yeah.
And he's already killed himself, and they're like,
Shit.
"Ugh," and slowly backing out of the room. No, I did it. I totally did it, and I made it look really good. So I think if you made a list of like who's most likely to top themselves off,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Top themselves off.
That's not
That's a
right.
different
That's
one.
not. That's a different
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, I think so.
Top themselves. Top.
Just off themselves.
Off
themselves.
themselves, topped. You said
This
top.
episode
So Johnny New
is
Year
the
hires
wobbliest
you.
plate on a stick I've ever seen.
Johnny New Year's
You know-
and his pinstripe suit hires you to do a gig.
Yes.
New Year's Eve.
Yeah, he is so old at this point. He's shaking.
Yeah, yeah.
His voice is going like, "I need you to go to
Don't let him kill me." Yeah.
No, the baby's coming to kill me. The baby's
And you're
gonna
like-
Epstein me.
He's gonna Epstein the baby.
Oh no! There was one man that could protect me, but he's gone now. You know what's sad? I'm about to do a bit.
Is
You
it
know what's
about
really sad?
Ghislaine?
No, it's that Jeffrey Epstein died before he could have enjoyed the movie Megan Mithrigan.
Mithrigan.
He would love Mithrigan.
Yeah, you would.
This is so bad.
They're making a Mithrigan sequel.
Maforgan. Ooh, Morgan. Morgan Maforgan.
That'd be so funny to have Megan and Morgan and the O's and 4. That's so funny.
I really think a lot of times this podcast could be described as like, what if 3 like funny people
Yeah.
were in a waiting room for a long time?
Sleep deprived.
Yeah. And then like goofing on an article in Parent magazine or something. All right. So, and you just picked up like a Time magazine and it was about Epstein. And then I was like, oh, we got to do 20 minutes on that. I'm here to get my anal glands expressed. So, yeah, New Year's Eve, I was doing, I can't believe we're still a year on this.
Yeah.
I had a really fun time. Those shows were really, really fun. It was kind of that beautiful, positive version of the Twilight Zone where I'm walking out on stage and it's just like, it's T-ball and I'm Jose Canseco or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was so fun and the audiences were so delightful. So if anybody from Cahoes is now listening to the podcast, thank you very much.
We appreciate
you guys
it.
were so much fun. Never thought I'd have that much fun in Cahoes, New York.
Oh, it's a great town.
Cahoes.
Yeah.
So you've had a lot of fun over the years.
Well, hold on. I want to say the thing that I was going to say about the theater. The theater. I've done a lot of different theaters. I've done, especially for New Year's Eve. The music hall is old and it's been around forever. They have a thing out front when you go in the lobby.
Yeah.
That shows like people that have performed there.
Yeah.
Like Wild Bill Hickok.
Wow.
Ooh.
Did like a shooting show in there and stuff like that.
Vaudeville.
Like, this
You
is
should do.
vaudeville era.
Whoa. Like he's like trick shots and like there's a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I've never seen
The
that.
flash just happened again when you were doing that. It's like you shot.
That'd be fun to see. Do they just not do that stuff anymore?
No, that was in the 1800s.
But come on.
I like how you're like, oh, that would be so cool.
Well, so they don't do that anymore. I wonder how that got phased out. Because if he's good, he's not going to hit the audience by accident. That's what we're all thinking about, right?
If he's good, he won't do it by accident. I also think maybe stagehands wouldn't be thrilled.
Yeah.
Right?
I
And
also,
also name me one modern fucking quick draw artist. That caricature artist that did my caricature, he was very fast.
Well, how about that guy that throws the knives and there's a spinner?
That's a
fake.
magic trick, yeah.
also the audience for a trick shooting thing is YouTube now. It's not
Oh, yeah.
live audience because I think there
Yeah.
was the archery guy
Right.
a couple years ago who was doing like trick archery shots where he
Yeah.
was,
Oh, I've seen the guy recently where he does the arrow and he hits the target.
Yeah.
And then he does the Robin Hood thing where he splits his arrow.
Yeah.
That is fun to see.
Sure.
Although I guess it would be hard to see live, though, because you're like,
Right. But back then, that's all you saw.
right, there was no YouTube.
Yeah.
I just think about the Calvin
In the
and
Old
Hobbes comic strip where he throws the cards up and bang, 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 and he had used a hole puncher, and then it's
Yeah.
the dad playing cards and his friends are mad.
Oh,
That's
that's
fun.
fun.
Yeah. But yeah, so this theater is so old, and like the vaudeville era, this was like a huge stop. Like every like vaudeville, as a comedian, I really appreciate that history.
Right.
Because in a lot of ways, that was like the proto version
For sure.
Yeah.
of stand-up comedy.
Right.
For sure.
Was a lot of the vaudeville stuff. Like the later vaudeville is closer to stand-up, where you
Right.
get like a who's on first and that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I posted on social media that I was doing the shows there, and people started commenting from the area, and they were like, "It's haunted. Did you know it's haunted? It's one of the most. It's like listed as the most haunted theater in America."
Wow.
And I was like, "Are you sure it's not Ford's Theater?
Seems like,
A president was shot. Well, he didn't die there."
yeah, I think
That's true.
the Lincoln's ghost is supposed to haunt the White House. Winston Churchill saw him and got scared.
Oh, I bet he just saw a tall guy.
Probably. Yeah.
Because then he's like looking at Americans and he's
Yeah,
thinking
it's
about
like,
that. He's
yeah.
like, oh, or he saw a literal stove
But also possible.
with a stovepipe, and
Yeah.
he's like, Lincoln, and he ran.
it's
Scooby Doo. Ooh, Winston Churchill as Scooby Doo.
That's tough. He's more of a bulldog than a Great Dane.
Yeah, that's fun though. Right?
Have they done a lot of
He'd be Scrappy Doo.
famous historical ghost things? I don't think they really have.
In Scooby Doo.
Like in anything.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Like I don't. I remember Ghost of Lincoln. Really,
No.
that's fun. I think they should do. Ghost.
Well, they always have to reveal
I was gonna say.
It's the guy who runs the water slide.
How about
Yeah.
like in Ghostbusters, anything like that?
It's Joe Biden.
All right, there. Come on, Jack, give me a break.
Man, a good.
I think if you say Jack at the end of any sentence, it gets you really close to a Biden voice.
Someone does a killer Biden, and I'm like, man, it's not Jim Carrey, it's somebody else, and I'm like, man, Biden is such a funny impression. I love it.
Oh yeah, it's great.
like the best. Oh.
But yeah, so
Haunted.
Haunted Theater. This is going to take so long. I don't think we're going to hit 45 minutes on this episode. I think it goes over.
This 45-minute podcasting competition is going to be pissed.
We keep losing.
Yeah.
It's bad. We never even get a ribbon. We don't even get a participation trophy.
Yeah.
It's
We're
terrible.
just disqualified.
Yeah, immediately. They don't even listen. They throw it away.
Yeah.
So it's super haunted, and that's what everybody said. And then I get to the theater, and there's an elevator attendant, right? It's no longer like with the lever, right?
Yeah.
Like, what floor, sir? But he's just there. It's more security, kind of just
Yeah, I
handling, people coming in.
Yeah.
Again, the shows were so fun. Like
Right.
if you told me, hey, you can do that every night, I'd be like, sign me up.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
That's
Makes
awesome.
me think about other comedians and their, following. And I'm like, yeah, no wonder you're happy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You get to perform. Oh no, because that's the threat of like performing just for your own audience and you're in a bubble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So never mind. I'm happy. I'm all right.
Also, there's just this problem where I think everyone gets used to what they have.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be more like Brad. Brad practices gratitude. I'm trying to think about things like that. You
Yeah,
know?
that's true.
It's a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I had so much fun, and I was talking to the elevator attendant guy after the first show, and he was like, "Oh, you're really funny," and it was really nice. We were talking. I don't even know why I had to say that out loud, but I said, "So this place is haunted, right?" Like it was my opening to ask somebody that works there, and immediately he goes, "Her name's Eva."
Wow.
I
And
don't
I was
like that.
like, whoa. I
don't like it.
right? I was
Yeah.
like, wow, all right. And I started talking to more people and they're like, yeah, it's Eva. She was a vaudeville performer. She performed here like all the time. She had a huge following and she died maybe in the theater. But it's like people have seen her, stuff like that. We were in these upstairs green rooms. It's an incredibly old theater. Like
Right.
it's a maze to go from your green room to the stage.
Yes.
It's weird.
Right.
But it's a beautiful theater. And I brought up Eva on the second show. And I even said on stage, like, I'm now scared that I said it. I don't even believe in ghosts, but it feels weird standing on the stage to a sold out like theater of people going, it's supposed to be this ghost Eva here. I felt like for sure this is when a sandbag comes down on me.
Yeah, the lighting rig. It's just your arm.
Yeah, it's terrifying. But nothing. I didn't see anything. I didn't do anything. There was one thing. There was a curtain. Holding it's for noise. It's just to keep noise from the green room area. And when someone would open a door like farther away, the air would move, and every time I'd be like,
Eva.
right, Eva, right? Eva Longoria is here.
I wish you were in your bed at night and it was just you with the nightcap straight up.
Winston Churchill's next to me. He's like, we gotta get out of here. His cigar.
You're running back and forth in the doors.
Front row. What do we do with these ghosts?
By the way,
we
that's-
shall fight them on the beaches.
Yeah, we shall fight them in the haunted hallways.
Your feeling about what you just said on stage is exactly my feeling about like haunted things and things like that, like ghosts.
Yes.
Where I'm just like, no, I don't think ghosts are real. But now that I said that, of course, ghosts are real and they're coming after me. Like that's exactly how I see it. That's
I'm very excited for someone from the theater to listen to or watch this podcast and then send us an email and say, we haven't had an elevator attendant in 50 years.
Yeah, I love that. I love that.
Also-
I leave, and then he's going like this and wiping off thick grease paint, and it's Eva underneath.
I'll say this, Eva, I don't believe in you as a ghost, and I don't believe that you can haunt my dreams and seduce me there. Take that.
That it can't end well. It'll only end with that face screaming at you again. And then you find out, like, oh no, that's my king.
I mean, if she is tied to the theater, she can seduce
You know
me.
who would fuck Eva? Dan Aykroyd.
Yep.
Dan Aykroyd
Yeah,
would do it.
definitely.
I want to put it in the movie. No, so it was it was interesting, right?
Yeah.
And it made me think about that kind of thing. And like, I don't believe in ghosts, but if you're in a place and you get creeped out, there is a level, right? We talked about in a previous episode the mill building that I was walking through and saw like a
someone in
performer.
period costume.
Yeah, it was
That's
terrifying.
great.
Yeah.
But it did make me think about the idea of like haunted places. Have you ever stayed at a haunted hotel or gone to a haunted house or stuff? I know around here, well, it's more Boston, but Lizzie Borden.
Yep.
Lizzie Borden.
You can stay at the Borden home.
Yep.
Yeah.
Where she chopped up her parents.
Yeah.
81
wax.
81 total wax.
81 wax?
Well, 40. She gave her mother 40 wax, and when she saw what she had done, she gave her father 41.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's 81.
I don't like
Plus
calling
40.
an axe swing a whack.
Yeah, well,
Well,
it
it
makes me
rhymes,
think the
so-
song is more about masturbation.
Exactly.
You know, she gave herself 40 wax. Well, it would be about a guy then, right?
Yeah.
He had 40
I'd
wax.
say 40 wax a week.
And when he saw what he had done, 41.
Okay, it makes sense.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Let me see. What rhymes with desk?
I have never stayed at a haunted. I've never stayed at a haunted place. I've never I'm not one who's like, oh, the old asylum. Let's go exploring. And I'm like, let's just leave the place where people were mentally tortured for years and years and years. Let's just not go there.
You tell your friends that are like, come on, let's go check out the asylum. You're like, look, it took me a long time to get out of
Yeah.
there. I'm not willingly going
Yeah.
back. I even said to them, like, I'll die before I ever get brought back.
And they're like, they just put an ice pick through each one of your eyes. What's the big deal?
yeah. Lobotomy.
I'm like, they shouldn't have done both. They took it out and they put it back. So I've never stayed at a haunted hotel. I'm not interested in ghost tourism because I think on some level I'm frightened. You know, you think about like the in the moment, in the light of day, it doesn't make sense. But in the moment, my car broke down. I was probably 21. So, 23. In fact, I was out of college. My car broke down and I was walking to find a payphone because I was 23. This was many years ago. And
oh God! And then at the time, Vietnam is raging.
you still have to call an operator and say, who's
Give me
a tonic.
Klondike 5.
But I was walking,
My Studebaker broke down.
and I was like, what if werewolves are real?
Wait.
Oh no!
Wait.
And then I started walking much, much faster because I'm like, I'm going to get
Werewolves
eaten by a
will eat.
werewolf.
Ghosts? Okay, fine. We'll fuck around with that.
I know.
Werewolves?
We're in the light of day. It doesn't make sense. But in the time, I was frightened.
I understand only. I'm sorry to cut you off, but only because, like, I think that's silly.
Yes.
But
I think it's silly now.
catch me outside. How about that?
Yeah.
Catch me in the water,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna be like, Nessie is here. You know what I mean? It's happening.
Yep.
The Kraken's gonna take
Yep.
me. All of them. Cthulhu's gonna come out. I don't care.
I think that's how I feel
Jaws?
too, where it's like, in the
Sharknado?
light of day, you could be like, of course, all this stuff is not real. I'm
Yeah.
not scared. But then when anything goes. Ghosts, werewolves, goblins, demons, Frankenstein,
A Thanksgiving ghoul.
a Thanksgiving ghoul, all these things I do like. It's one of those things where it's like if I'm alone in my house,
Yeah.
and I watch a scary movie about a werewolf,
fucking
or whatever,
over. Oh, it's
and then
over
it's
for
like
me.
you're in your bed.
Well, we watched Paranormal Activity 2 or something. It was over winter break.
Paranormal Activity.
Activity.
Act 2.
And at the time I was alone in the residence hall that I supervised.
So he was into
it's-
college.
And
Yeah,
so it's
yeah,
just
yeah,
me.
yeah.
And so I was,
That's way scarier than a house.
to move, I would walk the building. So, up, down, it's 4 floors, up, down each hallway. And then I came down and
I
then
wouldn't be able to live with myself.
the fire doors at the end, I opened one and it's air pressure, just like with Eva.
Yeah.
The other door closed. And I'm like, I know what this is.
Mm-hmm.
The physics, I get it. But I was already running back to my
Yeah,
apartment
yeah.
as though that would stop whatever malevolent force were following me. It's
Right.
like, he's on home base. He called Ollie Oxenfree.
Yeah.
I got to go back to the
Well, it's that-
stairwell that I haunt.
It's that same idea as a 40-year-old man. When this comes out, I'll be 41.
Yep.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Shut up. Don't ever, ever react to an age with, oh, wow.
It wasn't your age. It was the fact that your big birthday's coming up.
Oh, thank you very much. So, no, like, even now, most nights when I'm going to bed, right? When it gets to the point where I'm like, the lights are off, I do all the things, and then I sit on the edge of the bed and I take my socks off. I don't like putting my feet back down.
Oh.
Right where the bed is, because that's when they're gonna get me.
Oh,
That's when they're gonna slash my ankles. That's when they're gonna claw at me. When they're
Pet
grab
cemetery.
my feet.
Yeah.
For me, a lot of times, I stay up late. I think it's easier for me to get some work done after like 10 o'clock because less people are around and contacting me. But what I do a lot of times, especially in my house, is like I'll be like editing and I'll be like, I just want to be very productive. So I'll do laundry. So I'll put my laundry in, you wait an hour, and whenever I walk down those basement stairs there's no backs to the stairs, you're just like, and you just think someone's going to give you a bite.
There,
Yeah. And so I am very much like that. I did stay in an Airbnb.
This is what I want to talk about.
And this scared me and made me uncomfortable. This is a long time ago. I used to commute to New Jersey and stay in a hotel to work with Tell 'em Steve Dave. And then I'd be there for like 3 or 4 days. We'd film, come home and edit. One time in the middle of the summer, my ex-girlfriend said, let's get an Airbnb by the beach. That's fun. We'll do that instead of going to a hotel.
Airbnb beach.
Airbnb beach. And I said, okay.
Beach B&B.
Yes. Air Beach and B.
Airbnb should be for private charter planes.
Ooh.
Air
Yep.
P&P.
B, bang, N, and crocodile. If we're close. B and C. Airbnb.
Airbnb. So we went to this house. And this, I'm going to be honest. It wasn't super haunted, but it scared me. Went to a house and we walk up and there's like a guy there with a dog, like a big dog. He's like, hey guys. And I'm like, hello. And I'm like, this is weird. I don't do a lot of Airbnbs. So I'm like, all right, whatever. But I didn't think that people would usually be there. And he's like, yeah, so the room's upstairs. And I'm like, and I go in the house and he's like watching TV. And
you got just the room,
so
not
she
the actual
had just
whole
rented
place.
us a room, which I didn't even.
Those I never do. I will never do.
I
one of those.
never would have done this.
Yeah.
And we went upstairs, and I'm like, did we just get a room? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
There's not even a private bathroom. We're splitting a bathroom.
Ooh.
With this guy.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Awful. And so, and also like I like dogs.
You're
but
taking a shower. He comes in. Don't mind me, just taking a shit.
that's how it was. It was like he's like, my dog's friendly. You might wake up with the dog in your face, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
So we was like, all right, well, we're gonna stay here.
Oh God! And then you look, and it's a person in a dog
Yeah.
costume. You know what I mean? Like it's his
No,
wife.
It's him.
Yeah.
It's him.
Oh, yeah.
So we were.
Have you ever seen The Shining?
Yeah.
We went to go leave, and like I knew we were filming that night. He goes, "What time are you guys gonna be back tonight?" And I was like, "Oh, I don't know, maybe like 1 o'clock." I was just kind of guessing, and he goes, "Okay, that's okay. I don't have work tomorrow." And I was like, "What the fuck?"
This is why
happening?
I would never do it. It goes back to the thing of an
I'd rather be haunted.
Yeah, it
honestly.
goes back to the actual B&B experience.
I know.
The bed and breakfast thing, I hate it because you're paying the money to be a guest
Yes.
in someone's home and still feel the obligation of being a polite guest.
Yeah.
Being like,
and they're always like, we lock the door at 11.
I know.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, whatever. Came home, came back that night, tiptoed up to my room. His bedroom door is open, and he has his foot. I can see the foot, and I can hear him like that kind of thing, like a cartoon.
There's nothing wrong with people snoring.
And we go into our room, and in the cold night, which I did not notice, from our bed, all you see are 3 identical doors in front of us.
Yeah.
One goes to a closet, one goes to a hallway, and one goes to
Mystery world.
mystery door.
Yeah.
And I was like, I fucking hate this. I don't want to be here. I tried to be nice for the ex, but I was like, I hated it. And I felt uncomfortable the whole time. And the 3 doors scared me pretty good.
Sure.
And also, this scared me. He's like, you might wake up with the dog in your face. The dog's really friendly. But if we're sleeping with our door
Right.
closed, why would that happen?
Yes.
How could the dog be in my room?
Yeah.
What is going to happen this
Because that
morning?
man is the dog and he can open a door.
That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah.
I honestly, in that situation, I think I'm putting something in front of all 3 doors.
Yeah.
Wow.
Even the closet.
What if you only had 2 things?
I
Sleep against the third.
Yeah, I would move the bed.
Wow.
Yeah. I like the idea of this man being the dog. I think
too.
that's really
That's
funny.
funny. That's really
They
funny.
call me Scooby Don't. We stayed at an Airbnb in Vermont
Yeah, we
for
did.
that TV pilot thing.
And that was a little bit of a scary Airbnb.
Yeah, because it was a huge house.
Huge.
Gigantic,
Yeah.
pool table in the basement, hot tub outside. It was massive. It was a beautiful house.
Right.
Yes.
But there was like one wing locked up and cordoned off. And we made jokes the entire time where it's like, well, yeah, that's where he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. And then we came up with the Scarebnb stuff, which was really fun.
And I'll say not even just the wing, but it was the wing. And then the house architecture was so difficult to discern from the outside that we couldn't tell. It was like, well, this area with this hallway, this
I think it's
outside,
that space over there.
it looks like way wider than this. And there's locked doors everywhere in the house.
Yeah.
Like some were closets. Some didn't seem like they'd be closets. You know what I mean?
Sure, yeah.
So it was I really thought someone was going to sneak in on us.
Yeah, maybe they did, and we were just sleeping. We don't know.
And what happened? Me and Derek slept in the attic?
No, you guys were in that. It wasn't the attic. It was you. You had like a whole area up there.
Yeah.
But that's how every room was. Like for
Yeah.
me, I had to go down.
Yeah, you were-
down 3, up 3, down another 3, around a corner, and then up 2, and then my room was like off to the side.
It felt like
was
a
so
sub.
weird.
For some reason, your room felt like it was in a submarine. That's how I felt.
It was so weird because
There was a periscope.
all 3 bedrooms that we had access to, you two were sleeping together.
Yeah.
And I remember feeling like I wish I had somebody in the room with me because all the rooms were so far apart from each other. It wasn't
yeah.
like you were across the hall.
Bark, bark. I'm here, Ray. Don't worry.
Oh, my dog is here. Wait a minute. Oh, he was licking my hand the whole night. Do you know that story? That old urban legend thing?
Oh no, what is it?
So this little girl she's sleeping. She has a dog.
Yeah.
It's like a big German Shepherd.
Yeah.
And at night she would put her hand down. You know,
Yes.
she would like hang her hand off the bed, and the dog would lick her hand, showing, I'm here, everything's fine. And one night she hears noises and she's scared, but she doesn't want to get up because she doesn't want to bother anybody. And so she puts her hand down, and the dog licks her hand, and she feels good, and she falls asleep. She wakes up in the morning, and the dog isn't by the bed. And then she goes into the bathroom, and hanging dead from the shower curtain rod is the dog, and written in blood is "People have tongues too."
Wow.
That's a nice old story.
Yeah.
Something to think about when you're falling asleep in
I like
an
that story.
Airbnb.
That's a little
anyway,
scary.
no, we stayed there. I have a story. I meant to tell this story ages ago.
Ooh.
Do you remember the show I did where a lovely naval officer presented me with a challenge coin?
I do.
Yes.
Yeah. So I did that show. It was a really fun show, and it was part of a town's like street festival thing.
Yeah.
Like celebrating stuff in the area. So they had a show at this corner building. It was like prominent in the downtown area, this corner building.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the building had been like one big house. I think it had like the history of the house on it. I think it might have been like the like town mayor's place or something like that. And it got turned into a restaurant and like bakery and all this stuff inside. And it was great. It was really fun. The owners, the 2 ladies, they were lovely. And they said, we have an Airbnb so you can stay there for the night.
Nice.
And I was like, okay, fine. That's what the email had said.
Yep.
So I show up with my bag, ready to spend the night.
Yeah.
And then they tell me where it is. They take me up. It's up a flight of stairs within the restaurant, and there's a door, and you go in. So it's upstairs from it, and it's a huge building. It's like one big old house, right?
Right.
And they are like, "Yeah, we just finished remodeling and everything, so you are going to be our first guest in the Airbnb. You're our guinea pig," is what they said, right?
That's a horror movie line, is what it is.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's just a big like apartment. It's
Yeah.
like a 2-bedroom apartment above this thing, and it's nice. They redid the whole thing. It felt really nice in there, but it's like like when I parked, the basement windows. There's lights on in the basement. I can see like tool benches and stuff in this huge basement. Then there's the restaurant. Then there's the upstairs. Then there's the like 3rd floor of like mystery attic and other.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
There is a door in the kitchen that clearly goes upstairs. You
Yep.
can see it like the way the wall is built.
Right.
That door has a padlock on it,
Cool.
like a latch and padlock.
cool.
Why? You know what I mean? Normal house, a locked door is
Yeah.
enough. Why is there a padlock on it? It's terrifying, right?
Yep.
And then I'm talking to them. I'm like, so the entrance is the restaurant, right?
Right.
So like, there's not going to be anybody out. And I said like, oh, does somebody live like on the other side? And they're like, no. And I'm like, okay, so when the show is over, because the show is happening in the restaurant, when the show is over and everybody leaves, and they're like, yeah, don't worry about it, because we'll lock the doors when we leave. And I was, so you're locking me in?
Wow.
You're locking me into the place? And they were like, yeah, because you don't want to go down the back stairs. Those are like old and rickety and super steep. Plus, we have that door locked and it locks on its own, and you'll get locked out if you go out there.
Wow.
So I was like, so you're going to lock me in to this old 18 whatever building completely alone with this weird padlocked attic with a mystery basement. I'm the first person
You're the
spending
guinea
night.
pig.
Yeah.
None of that's comfortable. I'm not even thinking about like ghosts or
Right.
anything. I'm just thinking like, what if there's like a guy that is used to being here and suddenly there's a man?
Yeah.
I know.
It was horrifying. And,
Yeah.
and I'm alone. Like if there was another person, like if I brought an opener,
Yep.
I'd be fine.
Yeah.
I would be totally fine.
Me
There's
too.
another person.
Yeah.
But I thought about it, and I was maybe 3.5 hours away. I drove up there, and I started thinking about it, and I was genuinely like, let's see, by the time I actually fall asleep, it'll probably be around this time.
Yeah.
If I get in the car and drive home, it'll probably be this time. And I drove home.
Wow.
And
Oh, yeah.
I made up a lie, and I was like, oh, my son's soccer game is tomorrow,
Yeah.
and they moved it. I gotta go.
Yeah.
So apologies if you're watching this and have anything to do with it. It was a lovely place. I don't want to stay there alone.
That's very scary.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
It really creeped me out.
Yeah.
I was thinking about, I visualized, I was looking at the bed with my bag on top of it. I'm like, thinking about the fact that there's like 150 people in the restaurant area right now for this
Yep.
comedy show. Then they're all going to be gone. Then the two ladies will close up and they'll be like, oh, we're going to throw these things away. Do you want them? You want these baked
Yeah.
goods or whatever? And then they're going to leave. And it's just going to be me in this place by myself, locked in.
Yeah.
And they were like, you can have breakfast in the morning. It'll be lovely. We'll cook you breakfast in the restaurant and all that stuff. And I was just thinking about the fact that I'd be laying in that bed. And just like every new noise is like, what was that?
Yeah.
Because I'm waiting for somebody to be there.
Yeah.
Who's in that attic? Who's in that basement? Right?
I'm realizing this for the first time. There's something about an abundance of space where people normally are taking up that space.
Sure.
And it being empty and that being scary.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
if for some reason, like, I think an empty room is less frightening than a room with like a bunch of empty tables and chairs and benches and places where people could be.
I think for me too, also sleeping, like I think having, like if I was sleep, I would rather sleep in an empty classroom than an empty gym. Like thinking of a
really?
school.
Yeah.
Because it's too big.
That is, I will say that's too big because it feels like
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
you're
yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
There's you're
That's
looking
why,
around.
like, I don't like. Sometimes I'll like if you stay at like a nice hotel or something and you get like a suite or whatever, or you're staying at some house somewhere. I don't know. I've run into this a few times where it is a huge bedroom.
Yeah.
And the bed is like in the middle of the room.
Oh, I don't like it.
It's the worst.
I want my yes. Here's what I feel exactly the same. I want my bed against a wall, and I don't want there to be any space where someone could come near me without me able to see them.
Yes.
That's
yes,
so
yes, yeah.
weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel the exact same way.
I stayed. There's a hotel in Hartford, Connecticut. When I do the
City Steam.
City Steam, thank you.
Yeah.
Where the lovely
Aubrey. Yep.
I knew. No, where the lovely Aubrey, she emailed us from there. The City Steam, the hotel there is in an old building that this clearly used to be like a bunch of like factory stuff or offices or whatever. And the bedroom, like it's a suite that has a separate living room space.
Yeah.
But when you walk in, you have to walk down like a long hallway, and then there's the living room. There's a kitchen. When you walk in, there's a kitchen right to the left, and then a set of like 5 stairs
Yeah.
up to the bedroom and bathroom.
Yeah.
The bedroom is like your bed is there. They have a TV, but it's one of those walls that only comes up. It's like a partition kind of thing. It only comes up to like your waist.
Right.
Yeah.
Or maybe a little higher than that. And then looks out at the living room and stuff that's lower.
Yeah.
And I hated it.
That's
Because I'm
terrifying.
laying there, and all I could think of when I was laying in that bed is looking over to the little sill of that partition wall and just seeing something pop
me
its head
too.
up and look, and you get that beautiful like flashlight of an animal in the eyes, you know,
Yeah.
that vision of something glinting at you.
Dude, I had the
And that's all I do. I lay there and I'm like, probably a pop up right now. Probably a pop up right now. Probably a pop up right now.
I did this exact
Can't
thing
sleep.
last night.
Clowns will eat me.
Now, I haven't
Last night.
Well, yes. So I haven't really seen like the Conjuring movies, and what's the other movie that James Wan does? Insidious.
Yes.
So he made these 2 big series that they're really really popular, and I'll sit down and watch them someday. But I remember there was one shot that everyone like loved, where they're talking. There's 2 people talking in a house, so it's probably Conjuring, and it cuts to this woman talking to this guy, and it cuts back to him, and like mostly hidden by his face in the day.
Isn't that the Babadook?
No, it's not the Babadook, but I know what you're talking about.
The creature thing, right? Comes out from behind him.
Well, basically, it's like I think it's like a little Chinese boy, and he has like he's almost painted like Darth Maul a little bit. It's a lot of red. And
No,
black.
that's not a little. Is it a little? It's supposed to be a little boy.
I don't know. Maybe it's just a monster.
I thought it was like. I thought
And he
that was
goes
the
like
Babadook.
like that.
Yeah,
and he,
yeah.
And he does a thing. I think it's in Conjuring or
Oh,
Insidious.
I don't know. I don't know.
I did watch Babadook recently.
Yeah. Did you see Bob and Duke?
Yeah, the Dukes of Hazzard sequel.
Yeah, those guys are hilarious.
Yeah, I love 'em.
They said, "What if the Dukes of Hazzard was Canadian?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's 2 guys, Bob and Duke. And,
Bob and Duke.
And when they run from Boss Hog, they don't run. They just like they pull over.
Yes.
They have a car with a Canadian flag on the top.
That's
And then they pull over and they're like, "Oh, were we speeding?"
That-
You know what I mean?
We speeding? No.
Oh, geez.
So anyway,
real
that-
sorry about that.
that thing
oh,
is-
no, they're from Minnesota.
That thing is really interesting because it's 100% practical.
Yeah.
Very scary, very creepy. But it has really burned into my brain.
Sure.
And your thing about seeing the guy come up.
Yeah.
In my house, when you go up the stairs, you've been upstairs.
Yes.
You go into my room.
You've been in his room.
You can look down the hallway
You've been in the hallway.
and you see the stairs begin.
You've been in the stairs.
And the light's off on the stairs, but so it's dark, but you can kind of see it.
Yeah.
And so like what I do a lot of times when I go to bed, I don't know if anyone else does this, this is kind of strange. I'll just put the heat up for like 10 minutes to warm up the room a little bit and then put it back down to regular.
Sure. Okay.
Whatever.
No, that's
not a
fine.
big
Yeah,
deal.
yeah.
But what this does is it means I go into my room.
Mm.
My thermostat's on the outside of my room. I turn it up and I go in my room and I like get everything ready. I make my bed.
You lay down
know.
those plastic
I
trash bags.
I do my sit-ups and I do
Yeah.
basically
You do your spit ups. Oh, no, that's not what you call spit ups. You call it something else.
but I basically essentially
Takes a walk down Jizz Lane.
there you go.
Gotta burp them.
I,
Oh, no.
I kill time while the room heats up a little bit. Then I have to open my door into the abyss, turn down my my
Yeah,
thermostat.
yeah.
But I always have to look down the hallway where there's the stairs, where if anyone was coming up, I'd see them.
Yep.
And I always figure there's
Pig
gonna
figure.
see a pig.
From Saw.
I always
Oh,
figure.
God. I mean, that would be scary.
Yeah.
Here, there's going to be in your Apple Music library.
Hey, shut up.
So I always
Shut your mouth.
I always visualize like coming slowly up the stairs like a dark figure like
Yes,
that.
yes.
That I'm like, it's half
Yeah.
of you is like I have to watch to make sure it doesn't happen, and half of you is like don't look in case it does. You don't want to know.
That's where I'm at.
The funny thing is, like, I think with stuff like that, because that gets in my head all the time.
Yes.
I think it's the reveal is always scarier than the final the ultimate
Yeah.
event of the
Right.
thing, right?
Yeah.
The thing, if it gets me,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to be like clawed to death with
Right.
razor sharp fingernails. I don't
Yeah.
want
It doesn't
that.
sound fun.
Yeah, right.
But also, if that's happening, I can't do anything about it. But what's scarier is not the getting clawed to death. It's the initial reveal of, aha, now I'm going to do this
Yeah.
to you.
Yeah.
Although maybe if the creature
if you
talked
said it like that, yeah.
Aha, now I've got you. It sounds like Alan Partridge.
I'm going to get you. I'm going to kill you. I'm going to razor claw you.
I think when I'm staying at places, I'm more worried about peeping creeps.
Yeah, physical, like real people.
like-
yeah, the
like-
real
Someone's gonna
monsters.
peep at you?
Like one way. Well, I think they have a peep station set up.
Yeah.
And then they happen to catch
Peep
me.
Station 5.
And
It's up
that's-
to 5
it's,
now.
and they're worried. They're like, oh, that's horror for me. That pasty guy. And so, you
That's
know,
burned into their brains for the rest of their life.
But it's even scarier if it's somebody that's like, this is right up my
Yeah.
alley.
you know what? I have yet to find that person. But
But they have found you.
yeah. I remember reading many years ago that if there's a mirror and you put your fingernail
Oh,
against the
right.
mirror, if there's a gap
Oh.
between your fingernail and the mirror fingernail, it's
Yeah.
a mirror. But if your fingernail touches it, it's just a pane of glass.
Yeah, it's a
And-
two-way.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a two-way mirror. And so I will do that every hotel I stay at.
Yeah.
Although,
Yeah.
if I'm just checking, like, what if up here? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And then I bought after what was the Alison Brie horror movie that they stayed in an Airbnb?
Oh yeah.
Whatever that was.
Oh, that was a great one.
There were cameras hidden in this Airbnb.
It was like an indie movie, but it was really I think it was well
Yeah, it
done.
was directed by Dave Franco.
That's right.
Yeah. I bought a little machine that, you turn the lights out and you turn the machine on and you scan it around. And if there's a camera, it will like
You
glow.
got that?
I bought it.
Wow.
Yeah. And, but then I don't go anywhere to use it. But,
Right.
we're going to stay with.
Can I borrow it?
Yes. Yes, of course. We're going to stay with our buddy up in Canada. What if he's a creepy peep?
Yeah.
And
Oh,
he's a creep
he's
peeper.
gonna peep and creep on
And
us.
here's what freaks
we got to
me
have
out
that camera thing
is,
to
like,
make sure.
I see a lot of discussion about Airbnb on like Twitter, right?
Yeah.
And the conversation a lot of times is so many people, and I don't know how much credence you want to give this,
Yeah. Right.
or Clearwater.
Revive it, right?
That's the problem. There's the bad organization Blackwater.
Uh-huh.
Call it Clearwater. That
Yeah.
sounds so much better. Blackwater is like terrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Call it Clearwater.
Yeah.
Call it the Sunshine Foundation.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
like, wow, do they grant wishes to sick children?
Nope.
No.
Mercenaries.
They're mercenaries that fight in proxy wars.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah,
Anyway,
yeah.
there a lot of people talk about like cameras in the rooms
Yep.
as if it's just a given at this point,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which is scary.
Right.
That is
I know.
terrifying because like we're going to my family. We're going to Ireland and London in April of this year.
Wow.
And yeah, it's going to be great.
That's awesome.
It's our first big trip with our son.
Yeah.
Wow.
We've done other things, but this is his first plane ride. I've never been to Ireland. Can't wait.
Ooh.
We'll talk more about that in another episode.
Yeah.
I tracked like genealogically. Like I'm gonna go to the towns where my blood is from.
Wow.
It's very cool. I'm gonna walk around and go, anybody named Harrington? Because I'm gonna fight him.
What
Right.
if there's like a whole group of vampires there who they like love Harrington blood? They can live on everyone else's blood,
Yeah.
but like they love Harrington blood. And you come in, you're fucking 7 feet tall.
Hello, I'm the American.
I'm the living blood bag.
Yeah, and then they would be like, he's American. His blood is awful.
Yeah.
It's full of preservatives. You know what I mean?
Probably has a gun that shoots wooden stakes.
Ooh, a gun that shoots wooden stakes.
Yeah, I think it was in the
Crossbow.
Van Helsing remake.
But yeah, no, like that idea is scary to me. It really is. But I wanted to ask you guys about that thing, about that going to that Airbnb where I was the guinea pig.
Yeah.
And just being like, I don't like this and I want out. Or that hotel that I was in with the peaky rail.
So the guinea pig, it's tough because I am such a people pleaser that in my mind, I'm
And a
like,
pig pleaser.
I was gonna say a pig, please.
I'm like the idea of somehow hurting their feelings by leaving
Yeah.
Yeah.
would probably overpower my fear of death.
That's why I did the lie,
Yeah.
the little white lie,
Yeah.
where I was like, because I have a child,
yeah.
it's it is wonderful sometimes
Oh,
to
yeah.
be able to
Of
know that
course.
you have that card.
Yep.
Because that's a card, if you do play it, it's unquestionable.
Yeah.
My son
Very
is
frustrating
doing
for
this thing.
Chuck and Brad.
I gotta go. I rarely use it. No, truly,
Just
I don't.
often.
Honestly, let me ask you
Yeah.
an honest question. Can you think of a time where we were supposed to do a thing and
no.
I went, I can't because of my kid?
No.
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 In planning, when we're talking about
Yeah.
when we can do
Yeah.
stuff, I often will say, like, well, I have to get
Yeah,
thing
yeah.
on Tuesday. I'm
Yeah.
doing that.
I was being
but that's real
facetious.
life. No. I know. But it is.
Brad has his diarrhea issue, and it's kind of similar if you think about it.
Almost the same.
Yeah.
How long has Finn been around? 10 years?
Just about. Yeah.
That sounds.
That's true. You've grown attached in a lot of ways.
I got 25 years in that motherfucker.
Yeah.
I can't imagine life without him.
Yeah.
I don't remember life without him.
Keeps you tired.
Yep.
Hours are different.
Yep.
And ultimately, it's all for them.
Yes.
And you know that after you're gone, it will live on.
It's my legacy.
That's what you call it when it drips down your leg.
The legend of Brad's diarrhea will
Yeah.
live on.
Oh, it's on your leg, I see.
Yes.
Anyway, no, but that question is I think a valid one of like being in a place where you're like, I don't want to stay here, but kind of having to.
I would
And
probably
the,
have
the
stayed.
haunted kind of house, the haunted
Yeah.
house. So have you ever been in a place where you're like, this is haunted?
No.
Really?
I just, Chuck's house, Chuck's desk with a ghost of
That's
a billion
different haunting.
unborn babies.
That's a different
Yeah.
horror.
Yes.
I'll tell you one thing that I hate saying out loud because I sound so crazy. That this happened to me one
Just
time.
now?
This happened to me, and so much time has passed that I'm frightened. Did it happen? Am I dreaming? What's going on here?
Statute of limitations. Go for it.
I used to live in my parents' house in Warren near like Tuisset, which is this very woodsy area.
Can you say the name of that again?
Tuisset.
Tuisset?
Yeah, it's all Native American names that they use, like the
think it's-
Wampanoag
I've never
Trail.
heard Tuisset.
I think it's Touisset.
Yeah, Tuisset.
Tuisset.
Like Poconoke or, Pocona, whatever.
Or like the Tuisset, Baapit,
Yeah.
Karankit.
Yeah. God, I'm getting so many texts that are giving me so much anxiety right now. It's
So what you
fucking
need
crazy.
to do is what we do. Like Brad doesn't have his phone out. Mine is over here because I used
I
it
know,
for a bit.
but
You have actively been on your phone and texting, and now you're like, oh, it's too much, and it's distracting
I'm
me.
being given the most extravagant gift I've ever been given.
Oh, what a horrible thing.
And so I'm getting texts.
That's what's haunting him.
So I'm getting
Yeah.
texts about that. And so it's very like, what's going on here?
I mean, I gave him a Ninja Turtle video game shadow box.
It was cool. So Tuisset.
I shadowboxed with him.
Yes, with the turtles.
Yeah.
Now,
What
lived
happened to you?
We lived in a raised ranch, which means that I was in the basement. So that means that my windows, which were at a normal height for the room, outside, they're windows that are like low to the
Floor,
ground,
yeah.
And this has come into play into my life a couple times. Like one time when I got like, not arrested, but a policewoman came to my house like late at night to get me in trouble for a thing I did.
Stripper.
And
Get you in trouble. The policewoman. I'm going to get you in trouble for a thing you did. What?
This is entrapment.
That's insane.
well,
That's what it says in the Miranda rights. You have to say, I'm going to get you in trouble for a thing
thing
you
that you
did.
did.
when I was okay, when I was
You have the right to remain silent. We know you'll waive that right.
We've heard the podcast.
when I was 17,
That's why we're here.
a bunch of my friends and I used to drive around town and knock over everyone's trash barrels with our cars as a
Okay.
fun little goof. 17.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Not a big deal. And then one time we did it, and this guy started chasing us in a car. And he was chasing, and it was so scary. And he was almost hitting us, and he was running and screaming.
liquid metal arms.
And I think
Clink,
it's because we
clink,
hit his
clink.
hit his trash cans, and then he came out and he fixed them, and he turned around and hit him again. You know, it's a little joke. So anyway, he's chasing us. He's scaring the shit out of me, and I get away, of course.
Yeah.
And I go home,
Precision driving.
and I'm like, this is great. I got away, scot free, and I'm going up Jizz Lane, and I didn't have any curtains on my windows.
Yeah.
And so I didn't realize that a police woman was coming by, but I had pornography on in my room. And so she starts walking up.
I pictured the phrase "I had pornography on in the room," meaning you were wearing pornography. Like you had overalls made of porn magazines.
Yes.
I thought it was just, he just had it on, just in the background.
So,
While I fix things up, I fold laundry.
I mean, long
I
story
never get
short,
through the socks.
she came to the door. She talked to my parents. I had a couple other friends that were doing it with me, and so they went to their house too, and we had to go clean up all the trash that we had knocked over.
Wait, you dimed out your friends?
No, they knew. I think that
They knew it was them?
we had 2 cars, so I think they just knew both of our license plates.
Got it. Okay.
We were in 2 separate cars.
Yeah.
And fine. But that's like an example of like this woman was walking up and I could see it because it was street level.
Yeah.
So this is the thing that happened to me that I cannot explain. Ask me questions. I won't have answers. When I was sleeping one time, I heard a knock on my window. And this has happened before. Like my friends would come over late sometimes and knock on my window. That would happen when I was like a teenager.
Yeah.
And
There was a song about that.
I pulled the shade back. This is like
Was
late.
Etheridge?
This is probably like between like 3 and 6 or something. I don't know when.
Garth Etheridge's sister.
Still very dark. Pulled the shade aside. This is when I did have shades on it.
Yeah.
Little kid.
Oh,
Little kid.
I hate it. I just got goosey bumps.
Little kid and like
Come play with
very
me.
serious face. Very serious face.
Oh, I don't like
Very
this.
distressed.
Yeah.
And he like it was
I'm
just looking at me.
cold.
Yeah, exactly. Didn't say anything. And I put the shade back and I went back to sleep.
Oh, you had a dream.
I was
This is a dream.
fucking terrified.
Yeah, this is a dream.
He said, I'm Finn Harrington from the future. Can you please help me find my father?
Yeah.
Chuck's like, "Pfft."
Who's Ray Harrington?
Yeah.
At the time, I was so sure it was real. And for so many years, I was so sure it was real.
Yeah.
Now, so many years have passed that I know enough not to trust my memory.
And can I tell you something?
Yeah.
It was real, and he's here today. Bring him in. And he's still the kid. I'm still cold.
it's Alistair the movie slut.
Oh, I love movies. What was my favorite one?
And then was
Had
it-
to be the train that was coming towards the screen, and we all ran from the theater. I love movies.
But
I'm
that
so cold. Let me in to see a movie.
that scared me so thoroughly.
Yeah.
So
I like
fucking,
Lady and the Tramp.
But then there was like,
I'm the Tramp.
there's just certain things that
Can I say really quick, like that story? I was right along with you. Like, oh, I got chills hearing it. As soon as you said you went back to sleep, I'm like, no, that's a dream.
that's what I think.
Yeah.
I hope. That's what I'm hoping.
I would put many spooky dollars on
Yeah.
that being a dream.
I think it was.
Can I say similar? My best friend growing up in high school, Sean, he originally had his bedroom like it was a raised ranch as well.
Yeah.
Originally his bedroom was upstairs, but as he became a teenager, he put away childish things, including
Yeah.
his childhood bedroom, and he moved into the basement.
Yes.
Like the computer room
Yeah,
was
yeah,
next
yeah.
door, and he would sleep. He didn't even have a bed down there. He would just like crash on the couch.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And there was a big, what are those rattan chair round
Yeah.
circular ones? I
Oh,
think
yeah,
a
yeah.
Papasan. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's another word for it.
We always call them Papa Squats.
That's funny.
And I remember like being in high school and like having to sleep in the Papa San
Ooh.
chair because he was sleeping on the couch and just being like, this sucks.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Just this sucks.
Oh, yeah.
But we were there and it was the windows. I don't know if it was the same for you. It's those little short windows that
Mine
are like
were-
a rectangle.
Mine were tall, and they were the ones where you have the crank and it opens like this.
Yeah, so
you know what I
these
mean?
were the kind that are just the
yeah,
basement-y
the base-
ones.
Yes.
And we were in that basement one night, and we were probably this is the era when he moved into there. It's like when we discovered marijuana.
Ooh, baby.
So we were experimenting with marijuana drugs.
Guinea pigs, if
we
you
were,
will.
yeah, we were doing guinea piggery.
We were the 3 millionth guinea pig.
yeah, yeah. Although at that age, you are truly like, I discovered pot.
Oh, of
Yeah.
course, of course.
Yeah, a horse
that I
is a
did.
horse, of course.
Yeah.
So we're probably down there watching like Mr. Show and
Yeah.
cackling and losing our minds.
Yeah.
And eating grilled cheese. You know what I mean? Like
Oh,
living
that's
that
good.
life.
Now that's
Oh,
a good
so
day.
good.
Remember the day I discovered grilled cheese?
Christopher Columbus of grilled cheese. I discovered this.
And just like Christopher Columbus, I'm like, this is French toast.
yeah. I was looking for waffles. Time to kill all the waffles, I guess. Anyway, no, it would be a regular thing where we would smoke a little bit, and then we're in high school, we're learning that, and then he would make grilled cheese, and it just became a thing in his house.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
Anyway, we're there, and we hear a knock on the window.
Mm-hmm.
This was not friends fucking around. Where he lived, the closest friends were too far away. Granted, we had cars at that point, but the way the house was, it looked out onto like a curved,
Yes.
driveway kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like the loop. It does a little
Cul-de-sac.
Yeah. We could see anything that was out there. But this is in the middle of the woods.
Yeah.
I grew up in Maine. This is Kittery Point.
Yes.
There's a knock on the window. We look, and this is what we see. We see 2 shoes and legs standing in front of the window. Mm-hmm. They don't look like kids. It's not sneakers.
Right.
Like boot kind of things. It's not a cop, like maybe jeans or whatever. But I remember the 2 legs being there. His parents are not home.
Okay.
His sister is sleeping in her bedroom upstairs. None of our friends are supposed to come over. It's like late at night and I'm going to sleep over. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There should be no knock at the window. And we're like, what the fuck? And then we see them walk away into darkness, into the black of the night.
Okay.
And we're like, what the fuck? And we're paranoid as hell at
Yeah,
this
of
point.
course, yeah.
We're a little high. We're
Yep.
doing our thing. And we're so scared. And we're talking about like, no, you go. No, you go. No, you go. No, you go. Immediately, we're looking for weapons.
Yes.
We're looking for weapons. We both have weapons. We see... no, we don't see. Sorry. We're trying to look out the window to see if there's anybody and stuff like that. We can't see a fucking nothing.
Right.
The lights are on outside, but, they're floodlights that go out into darkness.
Right.
And we're in the middle of the woods. Another knock on the other window, and then the feet go away again. And that's all I know for what happened.
Wow.
It scared the shit out of us. We stayed down there. We made sure everything was locked.
Yes.
We did all of that stuff. I think maybe at some point we opened the front door and like just looked outside,
Oh my God.
and that was it. And we have no idea what it was, but it was scary as hell.
That would scare the shit out of me for the rest of my life.
Yeah, Maine
Yeah.
is tough. I remember,
Maine is scary.
some years ago, I was hiking in the woods and I got lost, and I came upon a home, and knocked on the window, and no one would help me.
Oh no,
Yeah,
that's
really,
a shame.
really cruel.
Oh my God.
Cruel stuff.
It was when your car broke down, right?
Yeah.
You were terrified of those werewolves,
Yes.
and you heard howling.
It's funny.
It's almost sounded like laughter at, say, maybe like a DVD of Mr. Show.
Yeah,
yeah.
That's the kind of true hilarity that can only come from Rudy Will Await Your Foundation.
Yeah, sure.
It's funny. That reminded me of this thing. It's not really scary, but a long time ago, I read the Insane Clown Posse's autobiography.
I mean, I'll say that is scary, but not for the reasons we've been talking
right,
about.
So Shaggy Two Dope was telling
Can
the
you
story.
really call it an autobiography if they so definitely didn't write it?
And he said that when he was growing up, they grew up in Detroit.
Yeah.
And when they were gonna like get like revenge on a guy or whatever, or do something to him, they would get all their friends together, like let's say 9, go around their houses, count the windows on the first floor. Everyone would get a cinder block. They'd go stand at every window, and they'd count down from 3, and they would all throw a cinder block through each window at the same time.
Wow.
Isn't that terrifying?
Yeah.
Imagine if that happened.
That
to
is
you.
Damn.
insane. That is insane.
Yeah. And that is a posse out there. And these clowns are throwing around breaking windows.
I get it now.
Oh, yeah.
I wonder if that guy was trying to pull one of those on you, but then he just was like, "I'll just knock first."
Yeah,
He-
no, it was scary. I mean,
only
it
had
could
one
have been
friend.
somebody fucking with us,
Yeah.
for sure. Like, I remember we went camping out in the woods where he lived. Like, we
Yeah.
were just out a little further with another friend that lived like a ways down.
Yeah.
And we were young enough. I think this was like 7th, 8th grade.
Yeah.
And we're all camping out there together, and we start hearing noises. We start hearing like someone's clearly walking in the woods.
Yep.
They're making little noises to scare us and stuff like that. So my defense mechanism instincts kick in at 7th or 8th grade. I just start yelling the most like the most sweary graphic shit I can.
Yeah.
At whatever that is. Like, yeah, come on, motherfucker. You come over here. I'm going to fuck your mouth. And I'm just saying every possible
Hey,
horrible
guts.
thing.
I don't
Starter.
think I ever could have gone in that direction. But
I
I'm
had
glad
to.
you did.
It was the only instinct.
You're large though. You're intimidating.
I at the time I was a heavy set boy for sure. You know, puberty was
Yeah, but you're
hitting me hard.
6'7".
Yeah, I wasn't 6'7" in 7th grade.
Oh, you're
so
probably
I
pretty
was
tall.
I was large, but I think mostly just in charge in that group. In that group, you know.
large, but mostly
Yeah. I mean, my best friend Sean at the time, he was definitely the guy that you'd be like, "Oh man, we got to fight these guys." Sean, and he's just gone. It's just a little dust cloud in the shape of Sean. Pew! You just hear that noise.
Well, I was gonna say I do think that maybe you have a different advantage when you go into situations that are threatening because I do think
I have
people
balls.
people look at you and I think that they're a little bit more intimidated by
Sure.
someone that's like towering over them.
I get that for sure. Yeah, I mean, I would also say that that's a negative pretty much in every other interaction I have in my life.
For me, I would have been like, please don't hurt me.
Yeah.
Please.
You know, like
I'll let you take whatever you
when
like.
I'm having. I think I talked about this on the podcast. No, I think I just told you on the phone. Like
Yeah.
having a panic attack in the NICU
Yeah.
because my son was 4 months old and hooked up to machines and was so sick. And the child next to us had just passed away, and I had a full-blown panic attack. I just couldn't handle it. And my wife had it the day before. The nurses, they come in. There's like 4 nurses like taking care of my wife. They get her like Ativan, calm her down. Everything's fine. And then it was my turn the next night, and I had the panic attack. And the nurse is just like, if you don't calm down, I'm going to call security. You need to go out in the hall. And it's because I'm a big dude, and they just look at me like that guy's a threat.
Yeah.
But anyway, in that situation, it has a great ending.
Yeah.
So I'm just doing that as an 8th grade defense mechanism.
Yes.
Yeah.
All I could think was I'm going to top it and just be pure bravado.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
say things.
Yes.
And it's when I was learning like funny as a defense mechanism. So I'm saying ridiculous stuff. You know, just the most absurd 8th grade graphic shit. You know, I'm going to make you suck your own dick and like the weird shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh.
Chuck runs into the clearing.
Guys, I got an idea. What if I suck my own dick? It'll scare him.
I'm running, but I'm holding my legs up somehow.
You're rolling. You're rolling away.
Come on, make me do it.
It's like he's a transformer. Trouble. Screech to a halt. Anyway, this is ridiculous. So I say all the horrible shit.
Yes.
And that's when, have you guys, it's a children's book.
If you give a mouse a cookie.
No, it's a children's book. It's Bruce the Bear. No, anyway, it's a children's book that was taken off. My friend that we were with at that time, Brian Higgins, right? Great guy. His little brother was also with us. His little brother wrote the children's book, and there's a
nice.
bunch of Bruce books. And
cool.
it's lovely. It's very nice. That was years later, of course. But so we're in the tent. We're all scared. I'm yelling out obscenities, and the noise stops. And I think I had yelled enough where then Mr. Higgins, the father of the 2 boys, goes, Jesus, just stop. Something along those lines.
That's hilarious.
And like he said, Jesus, and either just stop or like that's
Yeah.
enough or just stop swearing, whatever it was.
That's funny.
And it was
man.
so funny. So he had come out.
Yeah, to scare you.
To spook us.
Yeah.
A fun thing. Look at
Yeah.
the 8th graders having their little tent
Yeah,
out in the
that's
woods.
fun.
But I had said enough stuff where this father was just like, okay, you've ruined the fun. This isn't fun anymore. And he was like, yeah, you got quite a mouth on you. And like, this is the first day I'm meeting this guy. We're on his acreage doing this, right? Earlier in the day, he had tried to teach me how to ride a 4-wheeler.
Yeah.
And I couldn't do it because I couldn't figure out the clutch.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
I'm an 8th
This guy
grader.
hates you.
I don't know the clutch.
I know. Neither do I.
You know, and then it's like, fuck you, I'm gonna fucking put your head up your own ass and I'm gonna fucking piss up your butthole and you're gonna drink it. And it's like stuff like that. And to get to the point of him being like, oh, you ruined it. You ruined the fun moment.
That's
But
funny.
That was really fun. Listen, I think we have gone over our long version of an episode.
Well, I'm gonna say right now, I think
We
this
have
is
stuff to talk about for sure.
I think. Well, I was just gonna say. I think that this is clear. I hope it's been clear.
Yeah.
I'm just a huge pussy. I grew up as a pussy. I don't know what happened to me when I was a kid. I was always scared of everything. Me and my cousin Christian would constantly scare each other. We're constantly hiding behind doors, making each other into pussies for sure. But I
With the paper mache, right?
well, it's funny. Like you said the thing about like I hate sleeping in a room where I can't see the doors.
Yeah.
And immediately I was brought back to 8th grade when I slept at my buddy Brian Bowman's house, and I'd sleep on a pull-out couch in the basement. Behind the couch, stairs leading upstairs. To the left of the couch, a door that led to like another room, then another room, and all that stuff. And I'm like,
no.
it was
No.
killed me.
Yeah.
So I think I've been scared many times. 99% needlessly, and then 1% other people would be scared in this situation.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
I think it's just frustrating because, and I think it's a good territory and why we've often talked about these kinds of things on the podcast, but I think a part of it is there's the conscious part of your brain.
Yes.
It's the right side of your brain.
Yeah.
Where you're looking at things and you're calculated and more realistic and grounded and saying, this is silly. This
Yeah.
house is not haunted.
Yes.
And then the left side of your brain is like, what if this house is haunted?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
there was a place that I was supposed to stay. There was a big party. There was a band playing, and then they left, and we were doing a thing there. And I was supposed to crash at this place.
Yeah.
And all I heard the whole night was the girl that lived there. She's like, "Oh, it's totally haunted."
Yeah.
The bathroom has a door that goes up to the attic that opens. If you're in the bathroom, it will just like open on its own,
Yeah.
only when you're taking a shower. And in my head, I'm like,
Well, that
the
seems like it's moisture. Yeah, humidity.
but it's still creepy,
Yeah.
right?
Of course.
And she's like, "This has happened." There's the night I locked my door from the inside, and in the morning the door was wide open, and like things like that.
The
And it's-
walls will bleed.
yeah. The man will come. And when he comes, you can't move your arms and legs.
the man with no eyes.
Yeah,
I mean, I've had sleep paralysis before.
that's terrifying.
It's awful. But here's the thing. So I heard a local band, and they used the word bumbaclot in one of their songs.
Bombaclot.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know what that word means, and I don't know these guys well enough to ask them at this point in
if you have a blood clot in your
2008.
I
And
was
so,
the one that used it. It was my band.
and so I looked it up.
I don't think it should have been you saying bombaclot.
And so they're like, oh, it's basically a Jamaican swear that you yell at an evil spirit to get it to leave.
Oh.
And so I learned this on like a Thursday.
Yeah.
And then
I'm teaching the world.
Saturday night, I'm sleeping and then sleep paralysis. And I'm like, well, clearly these are demons. And I'm shouting bumbaclot in my dream within a dream, because
Yeah,
that's kind of
yeah.
what sleep paralysis is. And they went away. And so did senior discount save my life?
Were these
Yes.
spirits Jamaican?
Can I say something?
Don't remember.
I thought that bumbaclot
Did they
meant,
arrive in a bobsled?
I thought that bumbaclot meant like a used tampon or maxi pad.
Ew, no.
I don't know.
No.
It was
What's wrong with you? I thought you were wrong enough having something that involved saying bumbaclot on stage as a white man.
He's looking it up now.
You know, he watched that SNL. Oh no! What's
It's
his name?
insulting vulgarity literally refers to either menstrual pads or toilet paper.
All right.
Shit.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it wasn't.
Can you
to
give me
say
a little
this,
bit of a
Yeah, good job.
Let's say
Way to co-opt Jamaican culture.
Yeah.
oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why that sign is in your bathroom, and it says, "Please don't flush bumbaclot."
And then underneath it just says Irie.
Yeah. Well, he says, if you do, I will be Irie. And then it said, I'm serious. Jamaican me call the plumber.
My favorite thing is that there is
So
a
dumb.
small part of Ray that's like, in what context should you fucking say bumbaclot?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Was it like a song that was just listing like
No.
cultures you shouldn't appropriate?
I mean, it was a different time.
Yeah.
What is the name of the actor who was in The Pianist, but he was also in
Adrian
Darjeeling?
Brody.
Adrian Brody. I feel like Chuck saw the SNL episode hosted by Adrian Brody when he was introducing the band and was like, this is a great personality to have
Yep.
in a band.
Yep.
Do you know the clip I'm talking about?
Yes, I do.
No.
It's infamous. They won't air the episode anymore. And
What'd he do?
Adrian
What
Brody
band?
is blacklisted from SNL. They won't have him host again.
What?
That seems like a lot, right? That's
Yeah.
a pretty steep
The
order.
idea of being
Did he
banned
murder a cast member?
Yeah, what happened?
There was a band. I can't remember what the band was. If your watch interrupts me one more time, I like the idea of being mad at the watch.
Yeah.
That is the third time that watch has done that.
I don't know why.
Hey, Siri, be quiet.
Go ahead.
Mine didn't do it. Mine knows when I'm doing a bit. You got to update it. So he was supposed to introduce the band, as they always do. You know,
Right.
Yeah.
like the one that has flooded everything for the past fucking 2 years, ladies and gentlemen. The Weeknd.
Weeknd, yeah.
But there is a Twitter account that just posts the introductions of the bands, and that is fun to see.
Yep.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, one will pop up where you're like, I can use that.
Well, Larry David did one where he like stumbled through the name and it's super, and he starts laughing in the middle of it. And it just goes, the camera just goes past him and goes.
Yeah,
to the
and it
band.
was just blur.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he's supposed to introduce the band. I
Yeah.
believe there was some Jamaican roots there.
Yeah.
He is wearing the Jamaican thing with like the hat and the fake dreads, and he's wearing like a wife beater that's like kind of ratty, and he's got big baggy pants on, and in full Jamaican accent introduces the band.
What band is it?
I don't remember.
Oh, okay.
Jamaica.
So it had nothing to do with the band.
It was about, I think it was because it was like a Jamaican type of
yeah.
band, like a
Wow.
reggae band kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it, like, he's done. Like, people, it was not taken well at all.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
And
gotta
it
look
is
this up.
very cringe-inducing to see it live there, which is unfortunate because I like Adrian Brody. I think
Oh,
he's
yeah.
a good actor. I think that's a moment where you go, that's a bad choice.
I was
in
gonna
the
say,
moment.
can't we just swing and miss once in a while?
No, and as a white guy, I feel like you going, can't we just swing and miss once in a while? Can't we just make a mistake? Let us learn from our mistakes, but we won't learn if we don't make them.
I think that's right.
And you're saying all of this as you're putting the paint on your face. I just gotta learn.
No. Adrian Brody's totally in the clear. I haven't
Hot
seen
water
this.
burn baby, but baby don't know until baby touch water.
I gotta see this clip.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's
I mean, I
crazy.
will say, like, fully being like, oh, you'll never host here again. It is a little insane.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
It's funny because I guess I really don't know Adrian Brody's personality. I just know movies, and I
Right.
do like him.
Yeah.
But there are some people that you do feel like you've seen them on talk shows, and Jennifer Lawrence you mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
You kind of have an idea about how they are.
Yeah.
Adrian Brody, I got nothing.
That's fair. No,
Right?
that is fair. He's not that kind of personality.
I think so. I think that's right.
Yeah.
So maybe we just don't understand him.
I don't know. But I want to say our New Year's resolution was to start making things brief. Because if you think about it, the amount of work that we do to put out episodes, right? Like if we put out 59 minutes and 59 seconds every
Yep.
week, like, you know, we would be able to record even more episodes.
Yeah.
Some would say the whole haunted house, scariness, Airbnb, nightmares, all that stuff, that's an episode.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the Epstein lesson,
Some say that should be on the cutting room floor.
some would say that floor is so full of cuttings.
Yeah.
It's a fire hazard.
The problem is it's not full of cuttings.
Yeah, that is true.
It should be.
That's good though, because that editor smokes, and it would the whole place acetone everywhere. But I think we are not doing so well with our resolution.
Can I say it's so difficult to tell how we're gonna joke and what direction it's gonna go and how long it's gonna go.
Yeah.
And it's also like this thing where it's like, if you bring up something and all of us have stories,
I know.
that's a much longer
That's
thing
what I'm saying,
than if
yeah.
you bring it up and we're like, oh, we don't have anything. You
That's
know
what
I
I'm
mean?
saying. Yeah, I completely agree. And
It's tough.
it's hard though because there is a thought in my head where I'm like, we literally halve HALVE. We halve our efforts in half by doing
Yeah.
what we do. We could bank dozens of episodes
I know.
in a given session.
I know.
You know
we,
what I mean?
we recorded for over 5 hours last time.
I know.
And it's 2 episodes.
For 2 fucking episodes. episodes. It's so funny. And it's funny because like so many podcasts try and streamline the stuff
Yeah.
and make things as effortless as possible. And we're like, no, we're going to triple down on what we're doing here.
We're gonna do long podcasts that then take longer to audio edit, longer to video edit.
And on top of that, we're actually putting effort into the episodes too.
Yeah.
We'll do like thoughtful episodes where we have to take time and make them. But then again, there's the other side of it where when you do put in that kind of effort, does that translate to the people that listen really appreciating what you do?
I mean, the Fun Bears are the best audience.
That's part of
there.
it. You know what I mean?
I think our love language is just like long-winded.
I was just gonna say wind.
Yeah, our love language is long-winded.
Yeah.
Well, Fun Bears out there, if you have stayed at a haunted hotel or been to a haunted
Yes.
place, we would love to hear that story.
Or even just like unsettled, like not even haunted. Haunted gets
Yes.
like an A plus,
Right.
Yes.
But a straight A that gives you like
like an unsettling place. Like
like showing up to an Airbnb and going, oh no, or a hotel where you're like, yeah, stuff like that,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, we'd love
I'd
to hear.
that.
We'd love to hear those stories. If your name is on the list, we don't want to hear from you.
That's true. Well,
Chuck isn't sure.
Chuck's like, well, there goes my entire Rolodex.
But yeah, we're always happy to hear from you. Send us an email, funbearablepod@gmail.com, or find us on socials @funbearablepod. Always happy to hear from the Fun Bears. Ray's got a funny.
I heard. I'm sorry. I heard that there are 4 names on the list.
Oh.
And it's coming out, and they've already. They knew it was going to come out, and that's why they started their defense early.
Okay.
So they could say when it happens, it's just an impractical joke that they got on the plane as a goof.
It was a punishment.
Yeah, Sal was supposed to fart near the pilot, and it was going to be a whole thing. And then they ended up on the island, and they're like, I don't know.
When in Rome.
Oh my god. Nope. Oh my! I just pictured
When in
them-
Rome, leave Rome.
I just pictured them in the back room, and they're just like, "All right, Mur, go ask her how old she is."
Let's end this now before we ruin any future careers for anyone
Oh, what's the humiliation there?
existing.
Yeah.
It's just Q in a bikini walking around, holding a tray of hors d'oeuvres.
no, he has to have the pigtails.
Yeah. No, I'm 16.
What are you talking about?
What are you talking about, pal? Come on, pal. I'm 16. All right. Come on, brother. I'm 16.
For Ray Harrington.
Forget about it. I'm 17.
Ray Staten. I'm Brad Rohr saying thank you so much, and we're sorry for being Funbearable.
We love you.
On your knees.
Oh yeah, and tell me you look, and show me you look.